Hey, Pardon My Take listeners, you can find every episode on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Prime members can listen ad-free on Amazon Music. On today's Pardon My Take, we got our good friend Ryen Russillo. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs with him, go through all of it. We also have a special draft that you'll want to hear at the end of it. We're going to talk play-in games. We're going to preview the weekend. Awesome sports weekend coming up. We got a little Kershaw. We got a little Fyre Fest. A great, Good Friday. Like you said, it's literally a Good Friday show.
Shout out Christ.
Yeah, shout out Jesus. And we are brought to you by our friends at Game Time. NBA playoffs have arrived, and this playoff seasons we're getting our tickets with the Game Time app. We will be at the Celtics vs. Nets Monday, April 25th. You should join us. You should get the Game Time app because buying the tickets on the Game Time app is super easy and took less than a minute, and they delivered directly to our phones. Also, for the Final Four, I was able to share a ticket easily with PFT. It was that easy. So the Game Time app is the best and cheapest place to get last-minute tickets. I think we're going to do some giveaways, so download it. If you don't have the Game Time app right now, you won't be eligible for the free tickets we might be giving out soon. So download it. Also come hang with us, just buy tickets on Monday, and you'll see us, me, PFT, Hank, Liam, Frank the Tank, Spider, who's who, out at the Nets-Celtics game. Download the Game Time app right now. Go to the account tab, create a login, and redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Go download that Game Time app right now and use that code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, let's go.
It's Pardon My Take, presented by Russillo Sports.
Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by the Game Time app. If you want cheap tickets, last-minute tickets, go download it right now. Redeem the code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. We'll be at the Nets-Celtics game on Monday night in Brooklyn. You go to the Game Time app, buy some tickets, come join us. Use that code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Today is Friday, April 15th, tax day, and Billy is back. Have you done your taxes, Billy? Because we just said tax day, and Billy just let out a very real oh fuck.
Yeah, no, actually, Billy's right.
Yeah.
Taxes are technically due on Monday, so you have the whole weekend to do it.
So have you started your taxes?
No, absolutely not. Well, I've downloaded the documents.
Okay.
You got them right there.
So, yeah.
You've been talking about them for like 2 weeks.
I know.
On Saturday, you said,
Hank,
I believe you said on Saturday, I'm doing my taxes today. I don't know if that's misquoted, but...
No, the process of doing your taxes is complaining for 2 months that you have to do these taxes, and then you get around to it. So Billy's still got a couple days.
How do you think it's going to go, Mr. William Football versus the IRS? Because you did have the fight. This is the fight year.
That's really why my brain's in a pretzel.
Yeah, so maybe was that money already spent?
No, that's money put in different Roth IRAs that I thought I didn't have to touch ever.
But now you got to pay taxes.
So now I'm kind of...
Well, you don't.
Crazy how
they don't
it
get
works.
taxed when you take it out of a Roth IRA.
Right, so
when
I
you
put
make
it
it,
in.
you still have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did this thing where basically I got it and then I just put it away so I could never touch it.
Smart.
But not
like
smart when the IRS comes for it.
Freezing your credit card. You ever do that move? Back in the day, you put your credit card in a glass of water and just put it in your freezer. Just so that you just couldn't use your credit card for a weekend.
Like literally freeze it.
Yeah, literally freeze. I used to literally freeze my credit card.
You sanctioned yourself.
Yeah, when it's like, all right, I don't have money to go out this weekend. Don't even try it.
Billy, if you take a flight to the Ukraine, then you could probably write that off on your taxes.
You know what's well, the thing is, what's really taking me a long time is that because we live in this new world where like we work from home a lot, you can like write off anything.
What year is it?
We work here.
I know, but like sometimes we zoom in.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You work from home a lot.
You can write in
part of your job, I don't know if people know this little peek behind the curtain. Part of Billy's job, PFT and I have mandated it. It's actually legally binding. He has to be able to squat 225 at all times.
Exactly.
So
I have a lot of
home gym.
write-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
So-
write off a certain percentage of your house.
What about
ranked.
Mincy's house? Can you write his off too?
He's a dependent, so that's the big one. And then like Wi-Fi and stuff. So I have a lot of expenses to write off. That's where I kind of am trying to do my tax the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
So I feel confident in William football versus the IRS this year. We're going to go get him. We have a great sports weekend, though. Let's talk about that. It's going to be – I love the first weekend of the NBA playoffs because you get 8 games back to back to back. It feels like a big event.
Starts early on Saturday.
Hank, our games are on Sunday.
Yep.
I think you're, 3:30? I'm 6:30.
Did you hear the news about Ben Simmons?
Is he back?
Looks like I was right. I think I nailed this one because Ben Simmons is coming back per
Wow.
Shams.
This
So
might be
they've just kept him on ice. They put him in a glass of water, put him in the freezer. Ben Simmons is ready to come back, and yeah, he doesn't really have to do anything. All he has to do is be out on the court on defense, and then just pass the ball on offense. That's it.
this could be old takes exposed, but I think that's better for the Celtics.
It is going to be weird because there's part of Ben Simmons' skill set.
He's never played with them.
Right, he's never played with them, but he doesn't play offense regardless. I do think they're a terrible defensive team.
Training camp.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great story.
If they're not on the same page in like the third or fourth quarter, like you can't.
It'll be really funny.
Can't reference or talk about practice like it's like
What if Ben Simmons comes back and is just wet from 3? They will be.
It would be amazing. Think about it.
Here's the best part about Ben Simmons coming back. With Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, he will be open. Like, they will leave him wide open. So watching him, I don't even know if Ben Simmons has thought about this, that, like, he's going to be standing wide open many times, and everyone's going to be like, shoot, and he won't be able to shoot. I'm not making it series of the year because the juice is too big. It's minus 152, which I don't feel comfortable making a game of the year on that type of price. I still think the Celtics are going to win. PFT has declared a whomping, which has to be 5 games or less.
Well, so you just declared 5 games or less. We haven't even discussed it. You don't get to
whomping.
declare the intention of the whomp. I think it could be 6 games if
that's not a whomping.
Well, wait, let's talk about it.
Okay.
6 games, I think it could be a whomping if they blow them out in their 4 wins and then the 2 losses are close games. Like I'm talking 4 points or less.
So they have to win each game that they win by 15?
By 10.
That's
I think that's a whomping. If they win 4 games by 10 and then lose 2 by 4 or less.
I think you just got to be confident in your prediction
it's
that
a
whomping is 5.
Gentleman's whomp.
I think a whomping has to be 5. That's what if you see a series that goes 6, you're not like, oh man, they killed them.
Okay, let's compromise. 4 games, that's a whomp.
That's absolutely a whomp.
5 games, that's a whomp. 6 games could be a whomp if one of the losses comes in overtime.
I disagree.
How about that?
I
One
disagree.
overtime loss. Let's compromise.
I think 6 is
Absolutely
a
not.
competitive series. Like if you see a 6-game series,
I think if I got to put my nuts on the line for a whomp, you got to put your nuts on the line for a season of the year.
it's a series of the year. It's minus 152. That's crazy. You can't have people paying juice like that on a series of the year bet. So I can't. You can't, because then I could just be doing game of the years minus 250.
Okay, 6 games if both losses go to overtime.
If both losses go to overtime and it's a 6-game series, I'll grant you whomping.
Okay, there
you
we go. That's
Hank,
the whomp.
are you okay with that?
It's got to be 15, not 10.
Well, Hank's the boss, so okay.
Okay. So each win has to be over 15.
The point differential has to be 50 plus.
50
Total.
plus total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. That
works.
would be a whomping. I'm very excited for these playoffs, though. And I'm selling myself back in on the Warriors. I don't know why, but I am.
They got all the guys.
I just don't want it. I think it's going to be Suns Bucks again. I don't want it to be. I want something new, something fresh. I think that, and I do think the Bucks are going to make it to the finals.
So I'm looking forward to the Pelicans Clippers
On Friday night.
Yes. I'm actually like excited about that.
Our guy CJ blasted off in their face, step back to freedom. 27 points in the first half. That was an electric crowd in New Orleans. Awesome scene. I agree with you. That's going to be a great game.
Jake pointed out earlier that the name, so the Smoothie King Arena obviously is where the Pelicans play. They call it the Blender. That's great.
That is great.
I liked when they the Magic when they played at Amway and you could call it the Pyramid. They didn't want us to say that one.
The in Houston, the Juice Box.
Yep.
That was good. Or no, was that Tampa?
Minute Maid.
Was it Tampa? Tampa.
Yeah, it's Tropicana Field.
Tropicana was the Juice Box. Yeah. Minute Maid was the fraud zone.
That's the
with
Astros.
Enron. Yeah. Hank, are you feeling? Give us a thought on how you're feeling.
I mean, if 6 games is a whomping, I think the Celtics are going to whomp the Nets.
Oh, we got a whomp off.
Nice.
You want to put some stakes on it, Hank?
Sure.
All right, you have to get a cat.
So do you.
A cat bet? If a whomping goes either way?
I mean, you're not going to get a cat.
I think if you're doing a cat whomping bet, it has
This
to
is
be.
why we always stop the cats because I was willing to take the risk. You guys were scared.
That was the fatal flaw in the cat bet system.
If it,
No.
What are you saying?
Whatever you're going to say, no.
No, I have the Wampus cat. Whoever loses has to do a Wampus cat.
What's that?
That's where you take a big Wampus cat dip and put it in.
What?
You guys never heard of the Wampus cat?
No.
This is where TikTok meets reality.
No, I'm pretty sure.
So it's like
that's a Coach Harborough.
No, that's a horseshoe.
Right,
but the
upper
Wampus-
decker, you go all the way around.
The Wampus cat's like a full. Yeah, I'll find the video.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, so
I hate
if
dipping.
either team whomps, then a whole tin of dip in their mouth. All right, and you have to hold it for like 25 minutes.
Or you puke.
Or you puke.
I'll puke.
Okay.
but Fine.
Deal. Handshake.
Has to be a whomping, so it's got to be.
You know what? I'll get it on it too because I do think the Celtics are a better team. So I'll be on your side, Hank.
All right, two.
Billy,
two
you want
dips
to be
for
on the
PFT.
net or Jake? Anyone? Liam? No, Liam's a Celtics fan. Jake, you want in? I want Jake in. Jake, you're
I'm
on
not dipping.
Yeah, you're on PFT's side.
Jake, come
Jake's
on.
on PFT's side.
Come on, Jake.
Done.
You love
Done.
the Nets.
Done.
I don't
Done.
dip either, Jake.
It's
Peer
five. It's
pressure.
not no 6-game bullshit. It's 5 games either way. It's got to be 5 games either way.
What about 6 games and then the margin of victory is 50
No,
points?
let's just go 5. A real whomp is 5 games or less. Like that's
Agreed.
Let's
All
just
right,
make
so
it
I'm
straightforward.
rooting for a split.
Yeah.
Split in Boston.
Okay, but
Or-
you're.
No.
But all right, so Jake's in on PFT's side. I love it.
Peer pressure.
I love it. Billy, you have to just do it with the loser regardless.
No, but I
Yeah.
actually like it took me a really long time to quit dip. Is it
Good
cool?
for you.
Is it cool if I not?
Yeah, all right, good.
You
You're out,
can, you can do it with Zen. Just
Yeah.
an entire thing
Or
of
Black
Zen in your
Buffalo.
mouth at once.
Okay. Deal.
Black Buffalo.
Deal.
No tobacco.
I really don't want to do this.
All right. Well, you're
just
in.
Root for no whomps.
Yeah, root for at least 6 games.
Actually,
And you'll be good.
this is perfect for Jake because you just get to root for a good series.
Yes, you're the true journalist.
Yeah.
All right. Other series, I don't know what other series everyone's like. That's by far the marquee series
I have a substantial amount of money on the Pelicans tonight
to
so
win
that's
to
gonna be-
get into the
yeah.
playoffs.
Now,
Yeah.
what's up with Zion doing like 360 dunks in practice?
And just looking awesome
He's
on
a
the
beast.
sidelines. His chain was so big last night. It would look so cool.
He's only 21.
Yeah.
You don't want to rush him back for
Yeah,
when
you
you're
don't.
a 9 seed.
Yeah, but I mean, if you get to the playoffs, I guess they're going to lose to the Suns anyway. This is kind
I
of
think if they win tonight, which God willing they do, I think he might come back.
okay. And the Cavs are going to maybe beat the Heat.
Cavs will beat the Heat.
I love it.
That's
I love
my
it.
series of the
Salty
year.
that he keep beating the Celtics in
No,
the playoffs.
no, it doesn't matter who they're playing. No,
I'm dreading the Bucks Bulls. It's going to be painful to watch. I was actually saying, I can't remember who I said to, but if you re-ranked all 8 teams in the Eastern Conference playoffs, like current form, the Bulls might be the 8th.
The reseed of it?
Yeah, in current form,
you
they're playing that bad.
You could make a case for that. Maybe
and
the Hawks.
And I say all this, and I know that once the ball is tipped, I'll be all the way in and being like, "Hey, we can win this series." But I'm down going it. The vibes are low. I'll admit it. The vibes are low.
Yeah, I mean this is not the year. It was never going to be the year.
No,
You-
January I could have
yeah,
told myself it was the
You
year.
had like 2 months where you're like, you know what, this team
Watch
could make
out.
some noise.
Yeah.
I've got a series that will suck. I'm ready to predict right now.
Uh-oh.
A series that I care about the least. Jazz Mavericks.
Ooh.
That series is going to suck.
especially if Luka's
Yeah, Luka's not going to be 100%. That's the only reason why you would watch that series with any sort of interest. If you're outside of Utah or outside of Dallas, it's going to be boring.
I have a series that I'm very interested in as well. It's Toronto-Philly, just because James Harden in the playoffs is always a great story.
Yep.
Like, we could have James Harden falling on his face and Ben Simmons fucking up at the same time, which would just be beautiful.
Because then both fan bases won't know what to root for.
And Twitter will be ablaze.
Yep.
It's going to be great to watch, and then the T-Wolves. I think I'm just going to be rooting for the T-Wolves from afar, not actually rooting, but like, hey, this is fun. I want to see Pat Beverly, who got fined, which I think actually it makes him stronger. He's like Hulk.
He's going to have the over/under for Pat Bev technical fouls this series. I want to say is probably, in my own mind, 2.5 against him, and then he's going to draw over/under 3.5 technical fouls.
He will be responsible for 6 technical fouls.
I'll put it this way: if Pat Bev can draw more techs than he himself receives, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves win this series.
Watch out! Yeah, he got a $10,000 fine for, I think, inappropriate language after the game in the press conference, but I really do think it's like the best thing that could happen to the Timberwolves. Just keeps fueling him. He's now mad at everyone still.
I went back. I looked up some of Pat Bev's history because I didn't know what his path to the NBA was.
Yeah.
He was like the best high school player in the country when he was playing. He averaged, I think, 37 points a game in Chicago. When he was coming up, he was an All-American. And then
emasculated both the Jordan sons.
Yes. Yeah, dude was like a legendary scorer, gets to college, plays at Arkansas, and then there was some sort of test cheating scandal, and he didn't get drafted, mostly because he got kicked out of school or he got kicked off the team for a little bit for that. Then he went overseas and played in Eastern Europe for like 4 seasons. So he's got a big chip on his shoulder.
He's a dog.
He's a dog now. I love Pat Bev. I'm rooting for the Timberwolves. I'm officially declaring my Timberwolves bandwagon fandom for the first round.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm afar. I'm like, I like that team. You know how it's like you don't really have anything going in this series, but like, even though John Moran is awesome. What else should we we have some other things we got to talk about. Let's do Chevy Silverado. It's the all-new Chevy Silverado. It's almost draft day, which we will be getting into draft content very soon, having our usuals on to talk about the draft. So it's almost draft day. Everybody's got an idea what their team needs. If you're looking to give your own team a winning season, you need the new 2022 Chevy Silverado. From the popular LT model all the way up to the top of the line high country, these new 2022 Chevy Silverados have a redesigned interior which gives the cabin a spacious and more premium feel. Available 3.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Silverado also offers a 12.3-inch reconfigurable driver information center for new levels of personalization. Strap on the cleats and get off-road in Chevy's most capable off-road pickup, the first ever Silverado ZR2. Next level off-road capability right from the factory with Multimatic DSS-V dampers for more suspension travel. I don't know what that means, but it sounds badass. That's something that sounds very, very cool for your truck. It's aggressive off-road cut front bumper and large underbody skid plate. Silverado is as strong and dependable as the people who drive them. If you're a truck person, guy or girl, you got to be a Chevy Silverado person. Put some muscle on your team. Make your story a strong one in the new 2022 Chevy Silverado. What's better than football and trucks? Nothing. Chevy Silverado, 2022 Chevy Silverado. It is the best. Kershaw. That sucked.
Should have kept him in.
Baseball and I know Kershaw did like a good job afterwards of saying, I had a shortened spring training like everyone did, and I'm older. What the fuck, dude? Perfect games. There's 23 perfect games.
Is it 80 pitches too?
Yeah.
80 pitches, and I mean, I don't want to compare him to Matt Stafford because that's been done once or twice before.
Or Scotty Scheffler.
But Matt Stafford pushed his trainers away so that he could stay in a game and win the game for the Detroit Lions.
To beat the Browns.
That is maybe the least consequential thing that you could possibly do in an NFL career as a quarterback. And Clayton Kershaw was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll come out of the game. This is where my like inner meathead comes into play. Where I'm like, I would fight every coach that tried to take me out of the game. You'd have to cut my throat with a razor blade. And then you'd have to take a sledgehammer out and put a stake through my heart to get that ball out of my hands.
Yeah, perfect games are probably the rarest thing in sports. It has to be statistically, right?
Fan gluing themselves to the court.
Yeah, although recently, more
the game's changed.
Right. There will be copycats. But like, I think we all agree, like no hitters are nothing. I don't care about no hitters anymore.
Right.
Like, they're cool.
You know what I like is like the platoon no hitter. I like that when teams
Yeah.
use like 6 different pitchers.
If your team has a no hitter, it's cool. Any other no hitter, don't even like wake me up for. If anyone else, it doesn't matter about your team. Anyone else has a perfect game, I'm glued in. I want to be like watching. That's cool. 23 over, like in the history of baseball. Some guys make their whole career off it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Shout out Dallas.
Yeah.
Still a friend. But yeah, that's like that's it. Like you could throw a perfect game. That's it. You're good for life. You'd be like, I did something only 22 other guys did.
It's the coolest part of when there's a Hall of Fame induction ceremony and they list a pitcher's stats and then they say perfect game April 13th, 2022.
One day I was perfect.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that sucked. We also had the Philly guy who threw, if you missed the clip, the Mets went to Philly. I think they won 2 out of 3. And a Mets fan was videotaping the last out or whatever it was. I think it was the last out. Basically, like flexed in front of all the Philly fans in the outfield. A Philly fan just didn't even flinch, grabbed the kid's phone and threw it into the outfield. And it was, I love it because I am longstanding. I love the city of Philadelphia, and I just want the city of Philadelphia to embrace who they are at all times. And I watched that move, and I was like, that guy did nothing wrong for the city of Philadelphia.
That, to me, tells me that person has never spent any time in Philadelphia before.
Yeah.
In Philadelphia, if you put your phone in somebody's face, it's going to get thrown.
Yes.
Or usually, like, maybe slapped out of your hand. That's step 1. Level 2 of Philly fandom is you just take it and you throw it onto the playing field. That move plays in
I
Philly.
loved it.
Yes.
I loved it. Like
also, there's nothing more annoying than a person walking up to you with a camera in your face that's recording.
Right.
That move is like that's assault.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, if you we talked about it a couple days ago, like the bubble that there is that you can't get into someone's face with the phone. I just love when Philly fans embrace it, and I know that in this day and age, there's been a pushback about fans being assholes. That should not apply for the city of Philadelphia. Like, Philadelphia gets a pass where if you go there and you sit in the bleachers, you know that you might get punched in the face. You might get puked on. And if you complain about it, don't go to Philadelphia.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like the rules surrounding Harambe's cage.
Yes.
Do not approach, do not try to pet. If you do, bad things will happen.
Yeah. So
you should know that the second you enter the Philadelphia city limits, like this is, I'd actually go as far to say that Philadelphia might be my number 1 sports town.
It's they Hank. Anything?
But Hank knows that's the thing. Is like you would never be in Philadelphia, even given your extensive background and the love that you've shown for Philadelphia. You would never like take your phone out and then put it in somebody's face without the expectation that it could be chucked.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
You didn't like this move? You thought it was scumbag?
No, I thought it was a funny move.
It was very funny.
I respect the fuck out of it. The Mets kid was annoying. Like,
And he probably got his phone back.
Yeah.
And he probably got a great story. And if the video was still going,
Yeah.
that's like the greatest video of all time.
but best sports town is a stretch. That's all.
What would you say is number 1?
Sacramento.
City of Champions, Boston. 2, I mean, New York hasn't won. They're a terrible sports town. They haven't won shit. Probably L.A.
Yeah, LA's pretty good.
There's a lot of sports
high
fans
up there.
in L.A.
LA's
Yeah.
big time. Big time.
Boston, L.A.,
Big time.
Jacksonville.
It's actually a great move to do that as like a Celtics fan, to just say LA is a great sports town. The Lakers are the second best team in the history of the NBA because that makes all of your defeats against them look even better.
Yeah.
True.
The other thing I had was, well, Aaron Rodgers should go to jail because he tried to kill a kid, but that's whatever. Did you guys see this league between Notre Dame and LSU that's kind of simmering right now?
Brian Kelly's breaking out the big guns. I did see that Coach O went up to Notre Dame.
So it was like, it was a back and forth that was kind of subtle, that if you had to like really be tuned in to pick up on it. So Coach O went to Notre Dame. He said he was just visiting Indiana with his sons, of course. Who doesn't this time of year?
I would honestly believe that though.
Yeah.
From Coach O, like Coach O, his vacations are just going to different college campuses that have good football programs.
Yes, and he does have a history with Marcus Freeman. He tried to hire him last year before he got fired. But he went there. He gave a speech. He's like, you guys have the team. You have everything. You have the coaching staff to win a national title. And then I don't know, maybe it was like a little bit after that, Brian Kelly basically had an interview where he was like, the resources weren't there like win the national title at Notre Dame. And then Notre Dame Twitter account posted a picture of the practice saying no excuses. And then Brian Polian, who is part of Brian Kelly's staff, who went from Notre Dame to LSU, tweeted out something like LSU has the best nutritional facility in all of America, like blessed to have these type of resources. Then on top of all of that, there was a deleted Instagram story by Brian Kelly where I'll read it to you. It was a tweet. It was a screen grab of a tweet from a Pepe the Frog. What was it? Pepe the Frog?
Pepe the Frog.
Pepe the Frog, who said, everyone who's connected with sources inside the current program knows Notre Dame AD is retiring in 2 years, along with President Jenkins. Jack wanted to please the people, so he didn't search for a coach and hired Marcus. Hope he made the right choice, but I doubt it. Brian Kelly.
So Brian Kelly's amplifying that.
He shared this tweet on his Instagram story, then quickly deleted it. We need to get them scheduled. I don't know who can do that right away, but get them scheduled right now.
Yeah, Catholics versus Cajuns.
Yeah,
I mean, sell the T-shirts right now.
Done. I just love this. It's like two football cultures that couldn't be more different.
Well, and then Brian Kelly, he's going on like a full court press in terms of his public image right now.
Right.
So there was an article that came out saying, actually, Brian Kelly's fit in really well in Louisiana. Sorry, haters.
Sure. Written by Brian Kelly.
It was like I'm always going to remember this article back in like 2014 when Greg Schiano was out of football after being fired by the Bucks. And he had, I think it was Andrew Brandt follow him around, or maybe it might have been somebody else at Sports Illustrated, just being like, look what a great guy Greg Schiano is.
Yes.
Look what a good family person. He makes breakfast. These coaches, they have like a network of guys they can call up to write these glowing articles. So the article about Brian Kelly in Louisiana that's really actually how Brian Kelly usually pronounces the word family. There's nothing different about it at all.
This is like the Knicks, they had a disappointing season, and Leon Rose, who's running the whole operation, didn't talk to the media at all, and then did an interview with Mike Breen, who's the voice of the Knicks, and was like, yep, talk to the media. That's it.
Yep.
This is like our hope for Jake needs to become a true Big J, so whenever we fuck up and have a scandal, we can just be like, sit down with Jake Marsh.
Yeah.
Well, he just lobs softballs at us, and we knock him out of the park.
He's our fixer.
Yeah.
I like that, Jake. But yeah, Brian Kelly actually does have a Southern accent. He wanted to clear that up, despite the fact he was raised in New England and then coached in the Midwest forever. So clearing that up. Also, the food is not too spicy for him down there. He wanted to say that as well.
It's not spicy enough.
Well, so what I've learned recently, given what you just shared with me about the Instagram story where he's taking a screenshot of a tweet. First of all, I'm shocked that Brian Kelly has Instagram.
I don't know. It was probably someone else who's running his account because it was deleted pretty quickly.
I would love to see what his Explore page looks like.
Yeah,
but it's
there's
telling
no
me,
way. Wait, you know, it'd be funny if it was just a bunch of those like 360 cam videos that he did, but just different people doing it. He's just addicted to that style of video.
So he talked about his dancing as well. He was like, my dancing wasn't great. Yeah, thank you, Brian.
He lost that recruit.
But he did. But so he's more online than I ever thought that Brian Kelly would be. Because not only is he doing this thing with his Instagram stories, but he's also directly addressing us, the internet, with all the things that we've said about him over the last like 3 weeks or 3 months, however long he's been down there. I still love LSU. I will always love LSU. I love the campus. I love Mike the Tiger. I love the people that go to school there. I cannot root for Brian Kelly, though.
I feel the same way.
It's going to be different this year.
LSU's the best. Like, the people are incredible. The people of Louisiana are the best. Brian Kelly's just not a likable guy to root for.
I'm still a LSU guy.
There you go.
It's my team.
You're all the way in.
It's my college team.
Yeah, I mean, I still like LSU, but it's not the same.
With Les, though.
It's not the same going from Coach O to Brian Kelly. Brian, it's the definition of like, you love your mom, she leaves, your new stepmom comes in.
Yeah,
and she's
got totally different rules.
Wicked witch from the West. You can't go out. Your curfew used to be midnight. Now it's 10.
I obviously didn't go to college, and LSU was my favorite school.
Yeah. Why is that obvious? Don't put yourself down.
So I was a Les guy, and then obviously when Coach O went.
You're no different than Steve Jobs, college dropout to the fucking C-suite.
Sure.
Hank's the college version of the Trill Ballins avatar. Yes. I like Duke. I like LSU football,
and teams from Massachusetts,
UNC women's
soccer.
Soccer.
Minnesota Duluth hockey.
UConn basketball.
Oh, Denver
female.
hockey, actually. Yeah, they won the title. But yeah, this whole back and forth is the best. Anything else? Anything else anyone wants to get off their chest before we get to Ryan?
I agree with Gabe Kapler. What he's saying about the unwritten rules, you see what he was talking about?
Oh, the bunt. So yeah,
he was
go
playing.
ahead.
They're playing the Giants against the Padres, I believe, and the Giants were up 12-3, I think, in like the 8th inning.
Yep.
And they bunted to get on base.
Yep.
And the Padres flipped out about that because that's what you do in baseball. If you're getting the shit kicked out of you, then you cry about how the other team isn't winning with class. Gabe Kapler is saying, we don't follow the unwritten rules here. And his explanation actually makes a lot more sense. Like, I'm always team. I love the discussion about the unwritten rules.
Wait,
and
he said that they don't follow it. He got mad at his guy.
No, he's saying that we don't follow it because he says that if you're playing in a series against another team, you try to win the series.
Right.
So why not try to just get as many runners on base? Why not put as much stress on the other team as you can?
That's weird though, because his instant reaction, I don't know if you saw, it looked like he went over and reprimanded the player.
He might have done that in the moment, but then in the media,
I agree with you and Gabe Kapler. If you don't like guys bunting up 12-3, then make a slaughter rule.
Also,
make a slaughter rule.
I'm also just always glad to see Gabe Kapler in the news because if you haven't seen his Instagram pictures that he puts up, this guy makes Julian Edelman's thirst traps look like they're like kids' photo day at school.
Yeah.
This guy Gabe Kapler has like a 9-pack.
He is.
It's
He's ripped.
Anytime you see a dude in their 40s with a 9-pack, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Big red flag.
Yeah. I hate those jerseys the Giants wear, by the way. Those I think it's new. I don't know, but it's a weird tint of orange, and it's very bizarre. They have great classic jerseys, and they messed with it, and it bothers me. I think it's maybe just an alternate, but whatever. Now I sound like an old man yelling at a cloud. All right. Anything else? Anyone else? Bill, you had a great trip to Dallas.
Indio, California.
Indio, California is
Sick.
what I was going to say. It was.
So yeah, I was going to talk about it in my Fyre Fest
All right.
a little bit.
Let's go to Ryan Russillo then.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Yeah, before we get to old Ryan Russillo, I want to talk to you guys about our great, great friends over at Wood. Love Wood. There's no better feeling than someone associating you with a great smell. It's like, oh, that guy? That's a good smelling dude. That's power. That's why you need Wood Grooming. Wood is our men's grooming line, offering products across hair, body, beard, and shave. And if you want a strong, consistent smell, stock up on Wood's Golden Hour. Golden Hour has notes of smooth brandy, Madagascar vanilla. Comes in deodorant, shampoo and conditioner, and body wash. Uniform your grooming, solidify your smell. The first thing I did when Wood started working with us is I just changed everything in my bathroom to Wood. It looks awesome. It's always very cool to have the same line of products across all your grooming needs. Shop Wood's Golden Hour at getwood.com. That's GETWOULD.com, or at your local CVS. Now here's another great smelling man, Ryan Russillo.
All right, we now welcome on one of our favorite guests, one of our closest friends. It is Ryan Russillo, host of Dual Threat, the podcast. Go download it right now. Ryan, good to see you. We figured you're kind of like us. You don't watch a lot of NBA regular season. So we'll chop it up on some playoffs talk. No, seriously, we appreciate you joining us because you actually do keep up with the league. Do you not like the guys who drop in for the playoffs like us? Like, I watch the Bulls, but I'm not going to pretend that I consume constant NBA during the regular season other than the Bulls.
No, look, as I've gotten older, I don't try to find ways to tell people to enjoy stuff less. So, what's the point? Now, I'm not going to argue with you about stuff. I'm not going to be like, hey, I don't tell people during college basketball season what's going on because I watch the tournament and then I prep for the draft later on. So now I'm watching all this stuff going like, oh, wow, AJ Griffin is kind of nice. Yeah. Anyway, so the point is I think sometimes these last few regular seasons, there's a lot of nights where I wish I watched less.
Yeah.
Because there's certain nights you get so fired up about the schedule and then you go, wait, who's out tonight? So it's just been a weird stretch, as we all know. This is kind of like part 3, even though this is a full season. It was part 3 of an NBA season where, sometimes the regular season can be very misleading. And I've been kind of on this for the last couple of years where I feel like there's never been more of a separation between what playoff teams look like and regular season teams look like. So go ahead.
Well, I was going to say right off of that, I wanted to talk about the Bucks because I feel like that's the case for it, right? Like the Bucks, to me, and you can tell me if I'm way off, they've obviously had moments this year. Brooke Lopez missed some time, but they've had moments where they haven't looked like a championship team. But I always defer to, if they've done it once, teams kind of know, all right, this is what it takes. Like LeBron used to do it all the time, where it's like, this is what it takes, and I'm not going to kill myself in the middle of February. We're gonna for the big games, we'll get up, and then when it comes time for the spring, we're ready to go, and we're still the best team in the East.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee deserves all the benefit of the doubt. I think the thing that's a little bit different is that, for me growing up, usually you saw a team after like 4 or 5 title runs, and I'm not saying 5 straight finals appearances, but at least in the conversation, that towards the end is when you saw them kind of back off a little bit. Where now you not only have the Bucks, which is fine, but I mean, the Atlanta Hawks halfway through the season were like, yeah, we're sort of over this. We're sort of bored. Regular season. We're like, you guys haven't done anything, and you're actually a really good team. And they ended up finishing strong enough to end up over 500. We'll see what happens for the real playoffs part of this. But you're just like, who do you guys think you are? Like, you're already, it's like a guy who just gets hired is like, I want to talk to you guys about my 401k and maybe changing the contribution rate on this. And we're like, dude, we haven't even made your name tag yet. So I get concerned about it a little bit because, it can throw off some numbers. Like, it's never been easier to score. Last season was the highest offensive efficiency season we've seen in NBA history, and this year was number 2. And part of that is the threes, but like from March on, some of the offensive rate numbers were so absurd because I think guys are just over it. Like, I've never, like, we have the most accomplished scorers we've ever seen. The talent dispersal. To see Anthony Edwards do some of the stuff that he does, and no one would ever say he's a top 20 player. He might end up being that. But, like, it's absurd what some of these dudes can do. Some of the stuff Jordan Poole can do. And you never talk about him as like an all-star or anything like that. So the skill level is off the charts. But I don't know if it's just being tired because of a shortened, weird, disrupted bubble season into another shorter condensed season into turning this all around, or it's the new normal, which I'm a little afraid that the new normal is that this generation of players cares less and less about the regular season, which can totally throw off your playoff stuff. Because Milwaukee, as you said, Big Cat, I mean, the last 15 games of the season, they were a negative net. They were 21st in defense. This is a team that you go, look at all these defensive options that they have, and you're like, where the hell's the defense? And maybe it's just because they know they're going to turn it on, but some teams can screw it up by thinking they're just going to turn it on. The Celtics a couple years ago, when they got smoked by the Bucks in 5 games, that team hadn't even done anything, and they're like, well, nobody will beat us in 7 games. You're like, who are you guys? Like, you don't have the right to carry yourself like that, but at least Milwaukee does.
Yeah, the switch is always an interesting thing. I just go back to, for Milwaukee, I know they're gonna sweep the Bulls. Maybe a 5-game series if DeRozan like drops 50 in an efficient game. But I'm realistic about that. But I watched that stretch. I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago where they played the Nets and the Sixers both on the road, and Giannis just went supernova, and it's like, oh, yep, okay, I'm not worried about the Bucks. Like, they're a really fucking good team.
Exactly.
It goes back to what you were talking about, really, was like you're saying some players don't care about the regular season. I think a lot of players don't care about defense. It's a dad take. I'm getting ahead of my dad years by squatting on that. But, like, a lot of players don't really care about defense as much as they used to. What team out there is the outlier, though? What team would you say, like, punches above their weight class defensively?
Oh, Boston. I mean, Boston was ridiculous once they figured it out. And I still think this turnaround by this Boston team, for those of us that watched it all the time, because I still watch them every game. I used to, do the broadcast for TV, the studio stuff, and a bunch of my friends and family are still Celtics fans. So I told my dad at one point, I'm like, hey, no more Celtics. It's banned from our phone conversations. Like, it's just a banned segment. I can't do it anymore. I'm so sick of watching this team. They felt like they were soft, disconnected. They couldn't figure things out, and they made some defensive adjustments. And I think a lot of the players made kind of personality adjustments as far as like the way they carry themselves. So when they were locked in with Rob Williams, which, there's some speculation he could be back at some point, maybe not in the first round, that team went from what is wrong with you guys to off the charts defensively, and they cared. I think Marcus Smart cared even more so because he was having such a good season and wanted to make a push to show that he could be Defensive Player of the Year, which is hard for guards. So I would watch them certain nights going, look at their work. I mean, defense actually isn't that hard, okay? I'm not saying it's easy to be all-world defensively. But if you just care enough about rotations and you give effort and you don't freelance and you close out on shooters and you recover, it's a pain in the ass. Nobody wants to do it 70 games a year. I get it. But those that do and take pride in it, or at least smart enough, like Steph Curry always gets trashed defensively. And I know, like, as soon as you say that, I go, okay, then you don't really know what you're seeing, because I'm not saying Steph is going to lock anybody down, but he always knows where he's supposed to be. Granted, he's played with a lot of the same teammates for a long time, but I'd rather have that than some super athlete that's just freelancing that has no idea what they're doing. So generally, I think over the course of the season, PFT, there's just teams that kind of mail that part of it in, but there are teams that still take pride in it, or at least players for the accolades.
What about out west? What would be the team that kind of punches above their weight out west?
Phoenix. Well, I don't know. I mean, when you say above their weight, do you mean I expect them to be bad defensively, but they're good?
No, I guess a team that has shown the effort like during the regular season. That's kind of taking pride.
Memphis is incredible. Phoenix has a lot of different things they can throw at you, and Bridges is kind of a defensive player of the year guy. The biggest thing you're looking for now is effort and then switchability. And Bridges, he plays every single game. This guy's incredible. He plays every game. He's doing the exact opposite of what everybody else wants to do. And Chris Paul's at 37. Playing at all NBA level. I voted him third team.
Oh, really? That's a shock.
I know. Some people thought I'd have him first team. Don't think I could have pulled it off this year.
How did you get a vote? What was that process like?
The NBA called me and said I had a vote.
Nice. That's sick. Can we get one for Jake?
Jake Paul?
No, Jake Marsh.
The more UVM's famous Jake Marsh.
Yes, UVM's, right. UVM zone. By the way, my perception of the defense in the NBA kind of changed a little bit after I listened to JJ Redick talk about it. He was like, everyone says that the defense sucks in the NBA. That's just couldn't be like farther from the truth. It's the shot making is so fucking good that it's just like you think it's bad defense. It's just incredible offense a lot of the time.
Yeah, the strategies on what teams are doing defensively now too, like they change, and I think you're seeing more and more teams adopt this idea of like force it out of the best player's hands as much as possible. But that's what happened with Brooklyn last night, is they would double Durant on the catch or any kind of movement where he was like stopping to make a decision. And then he's like, all right, fine, we'll play 4-on-3 with Kyrie. The stuff Golden State used to do, they did it more before, but with Draymond, who would catch it at the free throw line, and then he's playing 4-on-3 with his passing and size to drive. Like, that was ridiculous. And that's back when he used to shoot a little bit more there. So, yeah, look, I'm not going to disagree with JJ Redick. I agree. The concepts, a lot of stuff that they do, but I think we're in this kind, like I said, my headline would be, we're in a 3-season stretch of guys asked to do a lot. A lot of people had to do a lot all over the world because everything changed. But there's also, as Adam Silver, the commissioner, points out, like, it's a concern. It's a concern that we keep having so many players miss games, and I don't think it's a real reach to say, okay, if you have this many guys being like, it'd be awesome is to play 55, 60 games, and they're not going to be super locked in on defense all the time, even though I think that the concepts and what they do are far beyond, because they have to defend so much space. That's the other, like the whole 90s shit and comparing it now, like it's just, I'm sorry, man. Like, I know the paint was crowded, but think how much easier it is to defend when you're just defending less surface.
Yeah, there's
area,
less guys. That can shoot. Right. So on the defense thing, we have a disagreement on this podcast. Hank is actually kind of in the middle. I think the Celtics are better than the Nets. PFT thinks the Nets are going to whomp the Celtics, which has to be 5 games or less. I just don't think. I don't think the Nets can, like, that game, that play-in game on Tuesday night was exactly what the Nets are, where KD and Kyrie have to play perfect, and even still, they just let teams back in because they don't play defense.
I almost think like last night's game and certain games are like microcosms of what we're talking about, the bigger part of this. Like, I always have a joke with you about the Rockets and Lakers game 1 a couple years ago.
Yeah, you lost me a lot of money.
I know, but I made you back. By the way, my tips for you, I'm over 500 with you guys. A&M, Arkansas.
Yeah, that's true, but you lost a lot of money. It was a lot of money.
All right. Well, I don't know what your unit play is, but I apologize. So,
apology not accepted.
That's fine.
Listen to the Tom Segura podcast. It should clear that up.
I thought the Lakers lost that game because they were like, "Oh, these guys suck. This is going to be easy." Right. I think teams have moments in games where they'll go, "Oh, all right, this isn't." So I think the Nets getting up 20 is more a reflection of who they are compared to Cleveland, because I think Cleveland, despite how great of a story it is, missing Jared Allen, they're different defense. Lauri Markkanen's out there one week guarding Durant, Embiid, and DeRozan. I mean, he's like, "What? I didn't sign up for this. I should have gone to San Antonio and just shot threes." So I'm scared to death of Durant. I am. I'm scared to death. There's always
course.
going to be a little lingering part of me, Celtics-wise, because I watched the same group not really get it for a really long time. But this is 3 months of them basically being the best team in the league. The Rob Williams thing, and then adding Ben Simmons, depending on what he's going to look like. And the great thing for Simmons, too, is this is the reverse of what he had in Philly. No one gives a shit in Brooklyn. You're not the number one pick. You're not the guy we tanked for. You're not the guy that was supposed to be the co-pilot with this resurgence for Embiid. You're not the guy when Embiid's struggling that has to go create his own offense. Now he's not. He doesn't have to do any of that stuff. He just has to cut off the ball when the other guys are facing more defensive attention and make dunks and layups and switch on defense and bring the ball up every now and then. So his life will be totally different. If he looks good, then I think the Celtics have some real issues because I'm scared to death of Durant. But this Celtics team, just all the stuff combined, man, it's been off the charts what this team has done.
I think it's gonna be a competitive series. I don't think the Celtics are like gonna whomp the Nets. I don't think it's the reverse. KD and Kyrie have to play so many minutes, and KD actually said it at, I think it was like before this season, because everyone's like, if your foot was behind the line, the Nets would win the title. He's like, dude, I was gassed. Like I had to play so many fucking minutes for this team, and you even see it now. In April, both these guys had to play more than 40 minutes. I looked it up. They, besides Fred VanVleet and Siakam, and then OKC, who was playing like 6 guys down the stretch, Kyrie and KD have the most minutes of anyone in the. I know Kyrie missed a bunch, but like they are. If this is a 7-game series, and they're playing 44 minutes a game, and then the 7th game is in Boston, I don't know. I just think that's. I just would take a team that can get a defensive stop.
Kyrie is fresh though. He's the freshest that
he's been bad.
He's going to go stomp. He's going to go stomp on Lucky's little face. Do you think he's going to do that again? Do you think he's going to break out the logo stomp?
He'll do something. I mean, it sucks because somebody's probably going to say something to him. I mean, and I don't think that's a reflection of the city, even though that's what it'll get turned into. Like stuff happens in Boston where I'm like, okay, maybe I sound sensitive about it because I'm from there. I just think that certain things happen where you're like, oh, that's only that city, and you're like, no, there's assholes everywhere. So I'm a little worried about that part of it because I also don't think Kyrie can say one thing, but then he'll do the other. So I'm not going to predict, but I would imagine in a hotly contested series. And the other thing too is Boston hates him more. They don't care about the lucky part. This isn't about history. It's about a guy that sat there on the microphone before his last season started and said, I'll come back if you'll have me.
Right.
When he never was coming back. Like I have one guy that knew it the entire time, but you never know. And I'm not a reporter, but he goes, do not believe anything. He is fucking gone. He's gone. He's not coming back to Boston. And I think even Boston thought he was coming back because he was telling everybody he was coming back. So, I know that people point to like the water bottle being thrown and him stomping on Lucky. Like he's got some shit in there because he's sick of hearing about it, but he's the one that fucking started the whole thing. It's not even debatable.
I completely understand why Celtics fans have had it up to here with Kyrie. I get that entirely. I just think it's funny that like the whole story got reported as a controversy because he walked on the cartoon logo at half court, which obviously is ignoring, like you said, like most of the situation that's around it. I just like reducing everything to their stupidest element and then making that mean something that it doesn't. You know this game, Ryan. That's how it's done.
Do you think they'll cover up the logo?
Yeah, they got to.
Yeah,
they have to.
They got to put. All they have to do is just put cones around it.
Yeah.
People just, if you see cones, people respect cones. They're like, oh, better stay away from there.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? You guys should launch a T-shirt where it's just the center of the court with no logo.
That would be good.
Actually, Coley sent me something that he's thinking about putting up, which is it's the "Don't Tread on Me," the Gadsden flag thing, except the snake is like colored green with shamrocks on it, and it's got the leprechaun hat and the pipe, and it's spinning a basketball in its rattle. It's actually a pretty fire shirt. I would like to get that up on sale.
Wow, that does sound fire. It's going to be tie-dye?
Let me ask you one last question about this series. Is there, I know obviously, I get it. Kevin Durant's the best scorer in the NBA, but is there a chance, like, you watch it every night, could Jason Tatum go toe-to-toe with Kevin Durant? Because I think that's getting lost. Like, it's KD and Kyrie, and obviously people are scared of the Nets because the Nets are not a typical 7 seed, but Jason Tatum's pretty damn good, too.
Yeah, he's nuts. I mean, this is why, like, all right, I'm going to use a bigger thing here, and we can relate it to your Bulls even. And it's the Lamar Jackson thing. like I've heard over and over again that like we're unfair to Lamar Jackson because we changed the way that we critique him. And I'm like, I don't think it's that. I think you win an MVP, and now guess what? Because you won an MVP, now we're going to talk about you with the other guys like Mahomes, like Allen, like, you know, Herbert, who doesn't have the accolades. But if you win an MVP, now you get thrown into this group of all the top quarterbacks, and this is how we're going to. And I'm even leaving guys out, right? That's not moving the goalpost in Lamar Jackson. It's the same thing with the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls, it's just some ridiculous story. Like, wow, look how good they are. Like, all of us thought the DeRozan contract was too long, and it still might be. Who knows? But he was fantastic this season. They gave up a lot for Vooch. That's debatable. But they just started spending money and bringing people in. And instead of fighting for a 10 seed, the Bulls were like, hey, we're not title contenders, but let's go. But then they have this absurd record. They're defending great. Everything's working out. DeRozan's getting MVP buzz, which was stupid, but whatever. It was fun for a week. And then it's like, okay, well, now I compare you to the best version of Milwaukee, a healthy Brooklyn,
right,
Miami, Philly. And it's like, I don't know that I like you in that matchup. And then Bulls, reputable Bulls bloggers, I'll tell you, Dan, we're like, well, I can't believe you. It's like, what do you mean? No, I'm judging you now based on the neighborhood that you're in. So bringing it back to Tatum, I love Tatum at Duke. All right, I've got receipts on this. I thought he should have been number one. And when Ainge made the trade, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, they're actually going to do it, because I felt like everybody had just written it off. No, it's Fultz, it's Ball, and then it's Tatum. And I'm like, God, I think Tatum might have the highest ceiling of all of these guys. But again, Fultz dealt with the injuries. So when Tatum's coming up and he's taking LeBron and the Cavs team that wasn't very good, and it was a pretty bad East to 7 games, and they're at home, and that's without Kyrie, I'm like, what can this guy be, right? So I'm harder on Tatum than I am Jaylen Brown, because I didn't have the same expectations for Jaylen Brown, even though his story is incredible. So with Tatum, you're like, is he going to figure this out? And he hadn't for the longest time. Back to the defensive strategy. Double him, get the ball out of his hands and see what happens. He didn't do a great job with it. And they also didn't have very good personnel to give him a relief valve. You know, Dennis Schroeder ISOing, Josh Richardson, you know, inconsistent offensively. And then Jalen sort of left to come up with his own thing, or Marcus was going to chuck a 3 up. And in this turnaround, Tatum has figured out everything. Like, there's certain plays that I see now, I'm going, oh, he sees what's happening now because he's had it happen to him all season. So now they're really nasty because Tatum, like, the best players can do all the best shit. I get it. But the best players are the ones that understand still the right basketball play, which I still think as an audience we struggle with, because we're all Kobe'd and MJ'd out that we're like, no, you're a loser if you didn't take the shot.
Right.
And you're like, no, that's not really always the case. And I think Tatum's added that part to his game and can still go off for 40 in a playoff game. So you're right. To expect that Tatum maybe hangs punch for punch with Durant, I think he's still a sliver below Durant, but that's not saying much to say you're just behind who I think is still the best offensive option in the NBA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about the Sixers-Raptors series? To me, that's an interesting one, because people are going to be talking a lot about the coaches. One guy that's been pretty good in the postseason. One guy that has left a little bit to be desired, shall we say, recently.
Yeah, look, I love Doc, but he's got 3 of the all-timers on his resume, and they're tough.
Yeah,
they're tough
all-timers. He's like 3 of the 5 biggest collapses on his resume.
The Clippers Houston one sucked for me for a long time as a Chris Paul guy. He's got the other Clippers one to Denver not that long ago, and then I still can't believe they lost to Atlanta. Like, that's, I mean, as bad as it was all going, go back and look at those games. I think they blew 3 19-point leads or something ridiculous like that. So, yeah, that's Nick Nurse is. If you ask people around the league, more people are going to tell you I'd rather have Nick Nurse as the coach than Doc. But the Sixers are also 1-3 against Toronto. And Philly fans could point out that, hey, Joel played 3 of those games. They only had Harden for 2. Thibel's going to miss some more. He only played 2 in them. But Fred VanVleet only played 1. OG missed 3 as well. I think Siakam missed a game as well. And even Scotty Barnes missed one of those games. And the last time we watched them play without VanVleet and OG and a full Sixer squad, I think for the most part, it looked bad for Philly. Now, maybe Embiid beats up on that front line and that carries him through it, but there's something numbers-wise that I brought up that's worth paying attention to. Is Philly, since the Harden trade, is the worst defensive team transition-wise in the NBA. They're giving up 65% field goal percentage in transition. And it's because Harden doesn't care. He just is like, you know, remember you get yelled at in like youth basketball, not getting back? No one ever yelled at Harden, apparently.
and more so on the defense, Tyball's their second best defender, and he's not going to play in Toronto.
Yeah, he's their best perimeter defender. I mean, some of the stuff he does as a perimeter defender, I absolutely love. And it's funny that the Kyrie story shifted to Thybulle really quick. It's like, yeah, we don't care about him as much because you're just not as good.
Right.
It's just the way it works. This one is really tough to figure because even though some of the offensive numbers with Harden and Embiid, like that pairing is in Philadelphia, I think one of the 5 best offensive pairings and all this different kind of stuff. I don't think Harden, a guy who I didn't like in his prime in playoff spots because he's got about a 10-game resume. Like, what the fuck was happening here with you? And now he's slower. He doesn't finish at the rim as well. There'll be a playoff game where the crew just decides he's not going to get the free throws, even though his free throw averages per game in the playoffs and regular season are actually pretty close for his career. I thought there was a time where, there'd be a certain game with Harden and be like, oh, tonight they're just not going to let it happen. Where in the regular season, I don't think that happens as much. So there's a lot of stuff here that favors Toronto, but it's also a huge problem because it's Precious Achua and Kem Birch in the front line against Embiid. So
right, and now eat him up.
See.
Right.
Is there anything at all that points to James Harden being able to turn it on for the playoffs? Like anything in his entire career, anything just like in a microcosm this season about how he's been playing recently? Is there any reason at all to believe that he's not going to go out there and do what James Harden does in the playoffs?
Look, if you were... this hamstring injury's gone on a year and a half. So
it's pretty bad.
I'm picking up a vibe that you might not be a James Harden guy.
Hamstrings are tricky though, Ryan. They really are. Like you ask any professional sprinter or wide receiver. Deshaun Jackson's been dealing with a hamstring for 11 years.
His whole career, yeah.
Yeah. No, hell, if you're not ready that first softball night, you see guys blow them out left and right.
Yeah.
So.
But is there? It just seems almost too easy to be like this team. As much as I like Joel Embiid, this team is prime for another big disappointment.
Yeah, I love Embiid, love him, and yet, I was so happy that he had a shooting option off of him in the 2-man game that he didn't have with Simmons. Like Simmons and the Embiid pairings, that's just kind of fundamentally flawed. Be like, hey, I'm one of the last remaining post guys that can destroy people on the block. All right, let's get the worst shooting threat ever to be passing it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt good about this trade in the sense that both teams got rid of something that wasn't working. Simmons not playing and then Harden quitting on his second team in 13 months. So look, sure, there's part of me that knows Harden's going to go off. He's still got the ball enough. He's still talented enough. His passing is terrific. That in-between lob and floater game is brutal. It's really hard, but the numbers are worse. And yeah, I have a problem. I have a problem with anyone who's a professional athlete who is okay deciding that they're just not going to be competitive twice in a year because they don't like their situation. I think there's something wrong with you, and I'm not even meaning just Harden here, but if you're okay sucking on purpose and having it happen that many times in a very short span, then why would I bet on your personality when everything's tense and it matters and it's the last minute? Why would I bet on your personality thriving in that situation when you've been totally okay quitting in other ones? And that's why I love Giannis so much. Because Giannis is like, fuck this, let's go. And he goes at everybody. And even though it's not perfect offensively, even though it's hard to make that statement now after what he did in the finals, but I just know with him, he's never going to be afraid. He may miss, but he's never going to be afraid. And there's some other stars in this league that I don't think are totally wired for that moment.
I would rather have a guy just be almost honestly, I don't care. A guy that will just tell you, you know what? I'm collecting a paycheck. They're paying me very well. I really don't care to push myself that hard. It's just not in my DNA. I'm doing okay. I'd rather have that guy.
You'd want to max that guy out? You'd rather max him out than what?
In a way, I would rather max that guy out than have a guy that, comes in saying, I'm going to try, I'm going to give it my all, and the first thing that goes wrong for him, he's like, fuck this. Because that guy, at least I know what I'm getting with the first guy.
I think I'm still confused. Do you have another sport analogy that you can give me?
I'm trying to think if I can do a Colin Cowherd.
Right.
Okay, so if
America's Cup.
My first wife, if you were to have your first wife, I'd rather have her making $75,000 a year than marrying up and her dad is rich, but then she gets busted for tax evasion. You want the first option. Consistency's key.
So you just want. Here's a sidebar. If a woman did a Cam Newton interview and said, I don't want to marry anybody that can't provide for himself, how would that have gone over?
Dude, the Cam Newton interview was so funny because I saw it trending and I was like, oh, he stepped in this. And then I was like, oh, fuck, that's Wallow and Gilly. shit, we're in it again. Like Barstool can't stay away from it.
They were just.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was a Barstool podcast. I was like, I saw it and I was like, oh, this is gonna be funny. Everyone's gonna roast Cam Newton. I was like, oh fuck.
They were just like staring at him like I don't believe that he's actually saying all these things.
Yeah, but
No, I know. And by the way, I'm not defending it or anything like that. I'm pointing simply to like, all right, Cam Newton said some dumb shit, and now everybody's going to lay into him. But I don't think you'd be allowed to be like, I can't believe that woman said that she needs her man to provide.
Right, it'd be a different conversation. Yes, absolutely. Have you? Very important question. Have you decided what your spin zone is going to be when Chris Paul gets injured somewhere in the middle of the second round this year?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I mean, he's hurt. He was hurt in the finals last year, got surgery, kept it quiet, doesn't make excuses. I make those for him.
Oh, nice. So pre-hurt.
I mean,
You're going pre-hurt.
Yeah, pre-hurt.
Which is kind of his whole career, but yeah.
No, it's not great. It's not great. I don't have a counter to any of that stuff. I mean, I just always hate when it's like ESPN will put up the graphic and they'll be like, look at all these Chris Paul exits or what happened here or there. I'm like, he wasn't playing in the game. Like, you guys are holding this against him and he's not in there.
That's part of being great.
You got it, Ryan.
No.
You got to pull a big cat and you got to print up a fact sheet and take it around with you. But like, instead of anti-Coach K stuff, like reminders of, hey, Chris Paul actually didn't play that series that you think that he choked away.
Pro Chris Paul.
That would be a great podcast idea. Just call it Fact Sheet, and it's 20 minutes long, and whoever's the most absurd supporter or I guess criticizer, I don't even know if that'd be the right word. So whatever it is you get your floor to lay it all out for your point, and then maybe a little 5 minutes of back and forth and whatever.
I think that's
I have a question
maybe you
for you
could have
guys.
Stephen A.
First
Smith
take
and Skip Bayless do it.
You just invented first take.
No, but you have to be like, all right, what's
I thought I was going crazy when he was. I was like, that's a great idea.
One guy, so like, there's the white guy would say he hates LeBron and calls him LaFraud, and then
No. What I mean is, like, you find the guy, like, who's the guy that thinks this more so than anybody else.
Yeah, you would be the
And
Chris
then
Paul defender.
Right. I'd be a Chris Paul guy.
And we would shut you down easily because we'd just be like, he's injured and he has no rings.
That's right. He has no rings, so that means he sucks.
There you go.
He sucks, dude.
I want to support you in the Chris Paul thing, but like, you have to admit that if he doesn't win a title this year, like the bust word has to come out.
I
right?
would say you could even
Bust?
Yeah.
No, you could even
That feels
say
a little harsh.
I mean, he came out of college. He was supposed to be the savior.
You could say his whole career was a waste. He probably would have had a better carear as a lawyer.
Another sport, or not even pro
a sport.
sports.
Yeah.
Not even
Insurance
a sport.
salesman.
Yeah, he should have done that. You're his father, right? In your little weird hypothetical world.
I think he would have been a great debt collector.
There you go. Yeah, and probably wouldn't have been injured as much.
It's a lot safer, maybe. I don't know, though. Maybe he'd be looking for confrontation. Imagine that guy harassing you for student loans.
This is the final piece, though. If he does get a title, it's like your entire career is vindicated. I'm not talking about Chris Paul. I'm talking about your career.
and also-
there's more at stake for me than it is Chris Paul.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He understands that.
And just so you know, if he does win one, we're just going to be like, one?
Yeah, and you can play, and Booker will score the most, so you can say like Booker carried him, even though Booker was in 0 playoff games before he showed up to the Phoenix Suns. I think my biggest Chris Paul win will be. Oh wait, was that an incredible fact that I just threw your way?
Walk around with this fact sheet in your head.
No,
you should print it up.
If Paul gets one, I think it puts him in the rarefied air of like he's like Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, he's like a lesser version of. He's like a junkyard Dirk.
No, that's cool. You get OKC to a 7th game in the first round, which I think is better than a ring in a way.
Yeah, that is true.
Many people say that.
Here's my victory lap on the Chris Paul thing that's already happened. Is that there used to be a Westbrook Chris Paul debate. There used to be a Darren Williams Chris Paul debate, and that lasted a very short amount of time. And then it was weird once he wasn't with Utah anymore. Jazz fans were like, "Yeah, maybe Chris Paul's better now," which happens far too often. And then there was a Westbrook one where I remember some Oklahoma City blog was trying to say that I was only saying Paul was better than Westbrook because I needed clicks and attention. You're like, hey, man, I'm fucking national, all right? National. It's a national radio show over here. So I just never forget that, and I feel like the greatest thing that ever happened to Thunder fans was that they lived with Westbrook thinking they knew what was going on, and they thought they knew what was right, and then they got Chris Paul for a year, and they were like, holy shit, this is how you play the position?
Yeah.
And I saw some of the top 75 stuff going around I forget who had a vote or who didn't, but it was out there.
Jake did.
But I think even Kendrick Perkins had Westbrook ranked ahead of Chris Paul like all time, and you just go, like, we're still here. This is still a debate, and now Westbrook's about to be on his 5th team in 5 years for a Hall of Famer.
Well,
and
hold on.
Like, so the no ring thing. I'll finish right here. All of the individual battles that Chris Paul and all the arguments that used to happen, he's smoked everybody in all of those. He just has. And it just, now he's not allowed to be. It'll be funny if he does win this year, because then guys will be like, oh, I guess he's good now. Like, oh, yeah, 15 years later.
Yeah, no, I won't even concede.
Some people will be like, yes, he's done enough to please me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris Paul, for making me like you.
It's also just one of those fun ones where it's like, obviously, maybe we'll cut this part, like Chris Paul's incredible top 5 point guard of all time, all these things, but it's so much more fun to just be like, no rings, injured. You guys pick those
if you
guys.
hate them.
Yeah, well, I don't hate them. I don't even hate them. I just think it's fun to just diminish someone's entire career to rings. It's
you
so
like to diminish things.
It's so stupid. It makes no sense. I know when we say it, it's the dumbest form of argument that you can make, and like it's actually made sports less fun overall. But there are certain guys where it's just fun to do.
What?
It's
crazy.
It is. Like, my favorite is it's not in basketball. It's in like baseball or football. If you take like an offensive line, like Joe Thomas kind of sucked. He never made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Mike Trout never made the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's a fucking
See, you're
bum.
laughing.
Okay.
You're laughing because it's fun.
Who are your individual Chris Pauls?
Oh, that we defend?
Yeah.
Carson
Brian-
Wentz now.
I was gonna say Brian Butch.
Carson Wentz, he got 2 MVP votes in 2017. He's the best quarterback in the history of the NFL in 73-degree weather, and he's Mr. October indoors.
There you go.
Outdoors, Mr. October.
Outdoors.
I was on the take early that Matthew Stafford's going to be a Hall of Famer, just because I remember like 3 or 4 years ago I looked at his numbers and his durability, and I was like, if this dude wins anything, like, it's going to be open and shut because his numbers are going to be right up there. So I feel a little vindicated by that.
Mine, and this is kind of an easy one for me, is Scotty Reynolds would have been a game-changing NBA point guard. And it's perfect because I never have to actually go through the scenario where he is, because he's never going to play in the NBA.
Just ahead of his time.
But he won everywhere in college. And his freshman year, I went to high school with him. I was a senior when he was a freshman. And I said, the first game I saw, I was like, this kid's going to be a superstar.
Damn,
and so
it's
mostly about me making myself feel good about being right about something.
I think Tyus Thomas still could be a Hall of Famer.
I have not given up on Tyus Thomas.
He could jump out of the gym.
I would be genuinely excited if the Commanders signed Mike Williams, the receiver from the Lions back in like 2005, the guy that went to USC. You remember him?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I love that guy.
Physical freak.
He was filthy. That catch at the back of the end zone for USC, I love him. But, I mean, that's the stuff that you don't really know. I mean, this gets all back to the draft stuff. But, I mean, people get married. You think you'd have your evaluations in check on that one, and it doesn't work out half the time, right? So, fucking wide receivers?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So, sometimes you get a guy in the building and you go, oh, this isn't going to work out. Remember Charles Rogers, Michigan State?
Yeah.
I mean, he was even better than Mike Williams.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're like, how does that guy not work out? And then there's just other stuff. And it's like, Tyrus Thomas, it was like, would he have been better now? Do the Bulls sign him now in positionless basketball?
Dude, he's got he would be, if you put him in any draft, everyone would fall in love with him every time. Because he was that springy.
He was just so different.
He was so
different.
good.
Because I was, total name drop here. I was flying to Portsmouth, Virginia, which used to be one of the, well, it still goes on, the Portsmouth Invitational. You guys should do a remote from there sometime. And I would go because you get to meet all the GMs and scouts and because nobody went other than the locals. You were in a high school gym watching all of these picks that might not even go in the second round. But the big thing was you would just sit there and gossip and talk about stuff. And I remember being like, Tyrus Thomas is going to go that high?
Yes.
He was like, yes. He goes, he can handle. He's 6'10". He's got the bounce. All he needs to do is figure out all the other stuff. And it was like, yeah, so he has like 7 things he has to get better at.
The other stuff for Tyrus Thomas was a lot of stuff.
Was everything?
It was all the things.
It's basketball. You talked
a
about
lot of stuff.
Talked about a lot of cool stuff that you can do with your body, but then there's also a game called basketball that you have to be good at.
I have kind of a Tyrus Thomas, Stromile Swift, 2 LSU guys.
Yeah.
A Marquise Chris rule, who's actually, he's in the league again. I have this rule now when I'm getting ready for the draft where I go, okay, there's a lot of stuff that's really fun. is he good at basketball?
Yeah.
It's a question I ask myself. Can I ask a follow-up to PFT, though?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was high school PFT like?
High school PFT, I don't think you're ready to know.
That's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole thing. That was my brother, actually.
That's a whole other podcast we can get into.
Yeah, that was
Life Advice 3.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can go back to high school, do a little flashback that way.
I don't know. I don't have much in the tank after that last one.
That last one went very, very long. I always judge it by Hank basically being like, all right, guys, you got to do something. When he does the fake, he does the wrap up or he goes to the bathroom, it's like, okay, maybe we should. By the way, the other one that I was just popped in my head.
It's a nice couch, so I can see why it went long. And we finished strong, but I thought we had about a 25-minute lull in that one.
Yeah, we
where
did.
I was like, are we done? Because I can still get us a table in town.
Next time, I need you to wear even smaller shorts than you did the last time.
Honestly, the video, I was grossed out by myself, so I apologize to you and your listeners.
No, that's fine. They loved it. They fantasized.
No, it was a
about
lot because they started working up the last 2 hours, and I was like,
hyped up. I still
what
think
are we trying to do?
I still think Starlin Castro could hit 3,000 hits. That one was a bad one for me. He had the numbers, man, and he also was very young.
Very toolsy. Very
yeah,
toolsy.
but I don't think that's going to happen. But all right, so let's go back to NBA.
I just remembered one more. It is an NBA thing. I think that the late when was that 2010, 2011, 2012, the Brandon Roy Blazers.
Oh yeah,
remember that team?
Oh yeah,
that's the greatest dynasty that never was.
Look, Brandon Roy could go. He was awesome. It was a couple years before that. But when he was putting up some numbers you go for a month to 2 month stretch, you go, nobody can do anything with this guy right now. But the reason why he went when he went is he was somebody it's crazy. And this is the part of the job I appreciate the most, the people that, I've known a long time, but there will be medical stuff where teams will, I don't say it. If I hear from a team, be like, hey, this guy's red flag city. I don't say anything because it's not my job. I'm not a reporter. We're just talking. And I'd never want to hurt a kid's stock, even though this stuff kind of gets out there anyway. Right. But the two biggest medical red flags that I got from a team once were Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, his spine was dust.
Right. When Michael Porter Jr. is putting up the numbers he is, and he's 6'10", hitting these jumpers that look like, are there 5 guys in the league that can do what he does at his size? And you're like, I don't know. And then he finds a way through it long enough to get maxed a year ahead of time, which then you didn't have to do it that way. But if you like the guy, you kind of do it. It's the opposite of what Robert Sarver does in Phoenix. But then you're sitting there going, oh, this is why he went when he went, because of the flags. And Malcolm Brogdon was another one. Like, how can this guy go in the second round? It's like, well, we're just bloggers or, talk show hosts. I mean, obviously, I know you guys don't blog anymore. I have a pen name for a different one, but it's mostly political. You go, well, this
Ryen.
is part.
That's going to start a firestorm trying to find that one.
This is all part of it. They don't get, and that's kind of back to your Brandon Roy point. Is that guys knew, they were like, I'm not quite sure how long his knees are going to last, and they were right, because when he was good, he was terrific. But I know that was a super long Brandon Roy answer, so we'll keep it moving.
No, it's sometimes fun just to remember guys that that dude would have been awesome.
Yeah. No, he's definitely at the top of that list.
Going to get back to Ryen in a second, but before we do, Coors Light is back. It's springtime. The mountains are blue. When the mountains turn blue, it's time to crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and then go to the Barstool Sports store to get the latest merch from the official Part of My Take. You know what? I'm going to put this ad read down. I'm just going to talk about these shirts that we have. Billy kind of designed a shirt. You designed the Mountains Are Blue emoji line it's really a lifestyle brand, and it works. And we've got these cool new shirts from Coors Light. We've got a couple different styles, one featuring Billy's Mountains Are Blue proprietary logo, and the other that features the Part of My Take logo with the mountains and me and Big Cat chugging Coors Light on it. We love Coors Light. It's our favorite beer here at Part of My Take. It's the only beer that I drink. If they have Coors Light wherever I am, that's the beer that I'm choosing. There's no second place. Coors Light's number one. We love Coors Light. Go check out the new shirts, barstoolsports.com. Actually, go to store.barstoolsports.com and then search Coors to find them. You can find them on our social media, too. I think we put them up there. Great shirts, great merchandise. Our friends over at Coors Light are making it all happen this summer. You like that? That's kind of a cool thing to say. They're making it all happen over at Coors Light. Now, back to Ryen Russillo.
All right, is it the Suns, though? I mean, it's going to be the Suns. They are the best team by far and away. The East, to me, I wouldn't be shocked. All right, here, let's do it this way. Rank this statement. The East, I wouldn't be shocked if 3 teams went to the finals. And I count, no, 4 teams, sorry. The Heat, the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Nets. I wouldn't be shocked. Those 4 teams. The West, I would kind of be shocked if it was anyone but the Suns. Not saying maybe the Warriors throw in there, but it just feels like the West has a lot of really fun players and a really fun stories, but it's the Suns are leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else.
I know that when I was younger and I would talk sports, I would say stuff like, are you fucking kidding me? Brian Rose is definitely a 1, at worst a 2 in the Sox rotation. That's before your time. Maybe Hank won't even get that one. But
Hank's
I remember
in a meeting. He's a fucking suit now.
Right. So when I went and I first started working in Boston, and because Bob Ryan's the best, like Bob Ryan, you could just stop and be like, hey, ask him a basketball question, and he would like sincerely talk to you for as long as it took him to talk to you. Like, it was incredible. And I remember asking Bob Ryan, I was like, oh, this team sucks, like whatever. And he'd be like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, you've been doing this 30 years. And that was the whole point, is you get older and you do this long enough, you have more of an open mind about all of it, because when you're young, you don't know how wrong you are most of the time, and you're convinced you're right. So I have a harder time now, like, narrowing the field, because I've just seen so many times in sports something happen differently. Having said all that, Phoenix's profile is insane. They're 32-9 in the clutch. Their road record is better than anybody else's record. Their clutch efficiency is double that of Milwaukee's, which is just an absurd number. They're better than they were last year. They didn't have any bigs, any other options beside Ayton. And I would say, whatever, they had Šarić, but that wasn't really a great option. They added 2. They have more shooting. They have more ball handlers. Bridges is better. Paul should be rested at this point. Maybe that's the best thing, that he did get hurt and missed a bunch of time, already planting the seed of why he might not get hurt with this. And, Ayton gives you a viable big against the other big matchups that you may run into, even if he's not perfect. And Booker's taken it up a notch too. So I don't see how anybody beats them. I just don't. I mean, there's part of me that thought Golden State was starting to figure some things out. They had a nice couple wins. They smashed Milwaukee at home. Steph was getting going. Clay was coming back. Draymond was coming back. But Draymond, Steph, and Clay played 11 minutes together this season. But right before Curry gets rolled by Smart, that derailed everything. So, there's always going to be a part of me that respects Golden State so much, but that's asking a lot for now of it all to come together. And if they make it to the Western Conference Finals, come together against a team like Phoenix, who's even better than they were last year. And if Paul doesn't get hurt, I know, here we go again. Maybe that series plays out a little bit differently, especially at the end of Game 4. So, and maybe they're even more motivated. The analogy I made this week on my podcast is, remember how mad San Antonio was all year long after they lost in the Ray Allen shot?
Yeah.
Lost that game and then lose the series? Like, that was a driving force. Single-mindedness. Let's get back there and kick their ass. And that's exactly what they did. Phoenix's loss to Milwaukee wasn't as dramatic or haunting as I imagine, but that part of it, the Memphis thing is great, but it'd be the youngest team to ever be in the NBA Finals. Dallas is one guy, and he might be hurt. Denver's one guy, and they're even worse, and they don't defend. Nobody likes Utah anymore.
I love, by the way, the Utah. Shout out Quinn Snyder when the story came out that Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert didn't get along. And he was like, I see them eating lunch together sometimes. And I was like, yeah. They're
best friends.
That sounded
Nailed
good.
it.
Like, I don't think he might have been. Maybe I'll give Quinn Snyder more credit, where he did the thing where he's going to make a quote that becomes a story instead of the actual story. But him saying that, I was like, that they have lunch sometimes. That doesn't sound very like they're that tight.
Ryan, you're plugged in. Was Quinn Snyder ever discussed to go back to Duke?
No, Quinn Snyder's been talked about potentially the Lakers or Spurs.
Oh, that would.
It's just gossipy stuff. Yeah, I don't know if it'll happen or not. But if Utah gets bounced early or it's a disappointing exit, I think they'd shake it up. But they better get in front of the Donovan Mitchell thing, because I think everybody. And again, these are gossipy NBA circles, so I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you placed money on who gets talked about as the next star, because that's what the league is. Every 6 months, one of these really great players gets pissed off and they get their way. And now what they're doing is they're not going, hey, let me go shorter deals so I can press the issue with leverage and free agency. They're like, no, I'll just take the fucking max and then I'll ask for a trade. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
It's smart. It's totally different. It's different in a very short amount of time. So I think Utah could make some changes if they're disappointed again here, because, Ainge comes in. I feel bad for Zanuck, the general manager, who I think is terrific, but it hasn't always been easy, and he was terrific in Milwaukee, and then they replaced him, and it was kind of weird, but it worked out for Milwaukee, so whatever. But I've heard Quinn stuff, but I don't I don't know what's going on with the Lakers. What I do love about the Lakers thing, though.
Oh,
if
I
you
heard.
Allow me.
Yeah, but before you do your Lakers rant, I heard that LeBron actually didn't want Russ. He wanted DeRozan the whole time. That's what I heard.
Yeah, Magic
And Caruso. He wanted Caruso to
Caruso.
stay.
Yeah,
And Steph.
I think we're so numb to the Magic Johnson appearances that we almost are desensitized to realizing how fucked up they are. Like, can you imagine another city, right? Another city where you have this legendary. Like, imagine if Michael Jordan just said, "I'm gonna go," like wasn't involved with the Hornets or anything like that, but just was hanging out in Chicago all the time, and then every 6 months went on First Take and was like, Billy Donovan fucking sucks.
I would have done everything differently. Yeah, just making up hypothetical. I would have signed this guy, this guy, this guy, knowing that no one's gonna be like, "Hey, dude, that doesn't work for the cap."
Right. And I've had a host in that spot where you're kind of like, is this guy wrong? And it's Magic Johnson, you kind of let him go. So I don't know if Greeny's going to go, that doesn't work under the cap. And you actually couldn't have done that. And then I remember I talked to somebody pretty quickly after because I was double checking. I go, hey, when Magic was talking about the DeRozan thing, I'm like, all the Lakers had, other than the other like more creative stuff, was a 5.9 mid-level taxpayer exemption. And the guy I talked to was like, DeRozan wasn't signing anywhere for less than 20 mil. Like, he just wasn't.
Right.
He just wasn't. There were other options. And Magic is like, again, it's the equivalent of like, we had Giannis one on my board. It's like, it just goes on. And Magic also, when they got rid of D'Antoni and they brought in Byron Scott, who was like the first thing, he's like, I don't know about these 3-pointers. Like, that's fucking stupid. We're going to be long twos and boxing out on the free throw line. And Magic is like, happy days are here again. And you go, what the fuck? And I think that Jeannie Buss is in a really tough spot because there's a lot of voices, there's a lot of history, there's a lot of stuff, and she's the steward of this whole thing. And it's as passionate as a fan base for any sports franchise I've ever seen in this country. But the LeBron part of it is so weird because I think LeBron, when he says things, he's saying things for reasons, and sometimes it's powerful stuff, and then sometimes I'm like, I don't know that this is as powerful as you want this to be. Like, I think he was complimenting Oklahoma City and saying how amazing Presti was over All-Star Weekend because they have a lot of draft picks, and he's thinking, well, if I'm really nice about Presti, maybe they'll use a pick on my kid in a couple of years. Like, I think that's how they operate. Mm-hmm. And so when the Mark Jackson rumor started this weekend, I promise there's a point here, I'm like, there's nobody that knows what's going on in the league that would be like, hey, we got to get Mark Jackson in here, fix this. Because Mark Jackson brings more problems.
Right.
He just does. I don't give a fuck. I'll argue with anybody about it. The history is long, and there's a reason why the guy hasn't had a coaching gig in a long time. And you're like, why would he be adamant about Mark Jackson getting a job? But Mark is also a Clutch client. So I wonder if LeBron says this publicly so that another organization, specifically an owner who'd be impressionable by LeBron, would be like, well, fuck, if LeBron wants Mark Jackson, let's get this guy in there. Because I do think there's this collective LeBron team thing where they plant seeds to try to get their way in a bunch of different areas, not just specific to how it works out for LeBron. So maybe they want Mark Jackson. That would surprise me. But I think that could be part of it, too.
That's interesting. I like that.
That's a great theory.
Yeah.
That's much smarter than our theory that LeBron was going to hire his son as head coach.
Yeah.
So that way his son could play himself and they would circumvent the draft that way. I think yours probably is more based in reality.
What about Westbrook as coach, so he can't put himself in?
Well, Westbrook had a quote today that was so funny. He's like, I don't know what Frank Vogel's problem was with me. It's like, well, maybe
I have
your
some
play?
guesses.
I don't know. He's like, we never really got along. It's like, I could guess why.
So, Ryan, put your MVP vote on the line.
Oh.
2 finals. What teams are making it? You have to get one of the 2.
Yes.
If you miss on both of them, you give your vote to Jake.
Yeah, no problem. Phoenix, Milwaukee. I think it's a rematch. Phoenix wins.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I think it's one of those years that because your Bob Ryan stories, like I appreciate it and what you're saying because that's why we watch sports. They're unpredictable. But the NBA playoffs are kind of predictable in a lot of ways. Like there are teams
historically totally predictable.
Right, there are
the most predictable of any of the playoff
Right,
formats.
there are teams that can win it all, and there are teams that just can't. And I think that it feels like there's a few teams in the East, and there's one team in the West. And maybe, Chris Paul will get hurt, so we'll see how they deal with that. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be we talk our way a million different ways about the Celtics, the Nets, the Heat, which has there ever been a more disrespected team, 1 seed, than the Heat? Like, no one talks about the Heat.
No, it's hilarious. I mean, I've made fun of myself going, they're going to be in the NBA Finals, and I'm going to be going, I don't know if they score enough.
It's crazy. We did this whole podcast. We haven't even talked about the Heat. They're the one seed.
And Bam's one of my favorite players in the league, and he missed a huge chunk, and they still end up being the one seed. I mean, all their three main guys, I mean, the development that they do, and I wouldn't even call it like on the edge of the roster, at the bottom of the roster. Strus and Vincent and Yurtseven having to play big minutes.
Where are you going to? Duncan's not on the bottom of the roster.
No, but when you think about the development of the pieces around it, no, I know Duncan's not at the bottom.
Haslam. You're going to say Udonis Haslam.
Yeah, Haslam has been developed nicely over the last 45 years.
All right, I want to throw something at you guys. I don't know what your time frame here is.
No, whatever.
Okay. You guys were talking Timberwolves celebrations.
Yeah.
Let's hash this out.
All right, let's do it.
Do you have a problem with it? Because why are you telling people not to enjoy sports? That's my question.
It's tough to argue with that, PFT. So there's no line though. What if they had a parade today?
Okay. All right.
Let's figure out the line.
I'd actually be fine with the parade because here's the thing.
I'm fine with that.
You'd be okay with a parade?
It doesn't hurt me at all.
Here's the other part of it. And someone said if the Nets had celebrated if KD had celebrated like that, you wouldn't have a problem. Yes, you're right. Different circumstances. Certain guys who have won a title, you expect them to have a little bit of a different reaction. Being a Minnesota sports fan, it doesn't get talked about. It literally, everyone talks about Cleveland, everyone talks about Buffalo, everyone talks about Atlanta. They have lost 18 straight playoff games as the Twins. The Twins have lost 18 straight playoff games. That's an insane stat.
That's ridiculous.
They have not won a playoff. They've been to the playoffs 7 times since 2004, and they have not won a playoff game. That's crazy.
Side topic for your baseball podcast. Should the AL Central be relegated? Is the AL Central even power? If it's power 6 in baseball, I think it's a power 5 in AL Central.
White Sox? This is the year for the White Sox. That's what all my friends who are White Sox fans are telling me.
Move the SEC up to the MLB.
Yes.
And then
and replace the AL Central.
Put the Central back in college.
So you got the Twins. The T-Wolves had one of the best players of all time. I don't know where you rank KG, top 30? I don't know. Whatever. They went to a Western Conference final. That's it. Never went past that.
7 first-round exits to start his playoff career. The ultimate winner billed as the ultimate loser.
Yes.
Chris Paul, anyone?
The Vikings have Kirk Cousins as their quarterback. They're 0-4 in Super Bowls all time. They also, I think you could easily make the claim they have the greatest team of all time to not make a Super Bowl. With that, Randy Moss rookie year team that lost to the Falcons.
15-1 that year.
Like such an insane team.
That team was nuts.
Nuts. And they don't.
That was your buddy that made the kick, right, PFT?
Yeah, it was Morton Anderson. And he made it. He made it because Gary Anderson, no relation, missed his first field goal.
I know. I remember. I know where I was.
Season.
Yeah.
And then the Wild, who they got sent to Dallas, the state of hockey lost their hockey team. They come back and they lose every year in the first or second round. I think context matters where Minnesota, if you're a Minnesota sports fan, and Patrick Beverley, obviously there's more history with the Clippers and everything, enjoy the fuck out of it. What's the point? You're not going to I have changed my opinion as I've gotten a little older where it's dude, it's being a sports fan is miserable. It is. But you don't win. No one wins. You know what I mean? So you have to
Most
enjoy
of us lose.
Yeah, we lose
most
all
of us
the
lose
time.
over. Right.
And you invest time, money, heart, everything. Emotions. And it's stupid. It's dumb how much we invest in our sports teams. But you have to find joy in other things. So I'm never gonna hate on people for doing that now.
And the people that say act like you've been there before, those are people that for the most part are so spoiled by winning that they don't even get joy out of success anymore. They just get their joy out of telling other people not to be happy about it.
Right.
So 2018, NHL playoffs, the Capitals won a Stanley Cup game. I think they went up 1-0. I popped champagne, and people were like, what are you doing? Act like you've been there. I was like, I've literally never seen a Cap Stanley Cup win in my entire life. Celebrate sports. Sports are supposed to be fun for the fans. If you have not experienced any form of success, celebrate everything that you can get.
The in 2015 Cubs, they went up 2-1 on the Cardinals. It was I think maybe it was the game before Schwarber hit that fucking ball that hasn't landed. I remember me and my buddy, we got so fucking drunk that the next game that we were at, which was the clinching game, we were drinking water and coffee in the bleachers because we were so hungover. Like, celebrate the moments. Celebrate the moments. And I don't regret it. It was fucking awesome. It was like a 3 o'clock first pitch. We beat the Cardinals to go up 2-1. It was fucking awesome, and I don't regret it. I regret it a little because I was very, very hungover.
I, for the record, don't regret the champagne at all.
Yeah.
Popping champagne is always fun to do. No matter, I don't care what the excuse is. More people should pop champagne just for like the small stuff that goes right in life.
Do you have the Sabre thing down?
No, I'm more of a Andre guy
Yeah.
or a J. Roget. So you just kind of unscrew
mums.
it. You pop it off. It's usually best enjoyed with like a couple drops of mimosas.
So how are you going to counter what we just did? Because that was passionate sports fandom.
You're going to sound like a big grump.
You're going to sound
Yeah.
like a real fucking grumpy guy. Go
Yep.
ahead.
I don't even know if I have enough room on my task cam after that, but I'm going to give you a little backstory myself. I remember Hardo, Red Sox fan, Russillo, mid to late 90s, going back even further than that. I remember being like 10 and going to the bleachers and watching the college kids get shit-faced and beat each other up when I was like 10 or 11, and I was like, I cannot wait to do that. I cannot wait to be 19 and get drunk in these bleachers and just see what happens. And then I got to 19, 20, 21. I hadn't really filled out yet. And I was like, you know what I don't want to do is get my ass kicked by 3 kids from Hyde Park. So we'll just have beers because I don't want to get beat up here.
Yeah.
So I remember, later on bartending. Unfortunately, the bar was owned by like a super passionate Yankees fan. So annoying. He actually used to do like the 27 championships thing to me when we'd argue about non-baseball related subjects.
I love that.
That was tough. It almost got to a fight. He owned the place, and then I was like, "Fuck this! I'm going to fight you or I quit."
I love that.
And,
by the way, sidebar.
right.
I love Yankee fans that do the 27 rings. I think that's like the scummiest, greatest thing. Like, why not?
Right. Okay, so when the Sox got to the wild card 98, 99 and they celebrated it, I was like, oh. And then the Yankee guy was like, wild card. Cool. And I was act like you've been there before guy because I'm like, this sucks. Like, it's the wild card and you guys are acting like you just won the World Series. Like, this is stupid. Fast forward a couple years later, I get my first job in sports, really. I mean, it's sort of second, but really the first one where I was paid, but not really when I think about it. Minor league baseball, I'm around it every single day. I'm around the players every day and seeing what they go through every day, and that their ups and downs were very muted compared to those of the fans. It's the greatest experience I still have ever gotten in my entire career because it kind of set like I started just understanding sports way better just being around a team every single day, the mentality of it. But when things went well and those guys would tear it up randomly, like then I got it. And I'm like, you know what? This is what it should be about. Celebrate those moments. And then you're so stupid when you don't know how a team works. We're like, oh, those guys are getting drunk like over the weekend. And then they've got a playoff game coming up. You're like, dude, half the team's drunk all the time anyway. So it doesn't, especially like back then. I'm sure it's a little bit different now because like, guys like posting deadlift videos on Instagram and shit. But I am with you. But however, I do think there are lines at times. But the Beverly Clippers history, even though they got so sick of him, that was more on him than I think it was necessarily the Clippers being disrespectful as he likes to frame it. There are some Pat Bev things, even though I think every team should have one guy that pushes the edge. If you're a good basketball team, you kind of need one guy that's not afraid of anybody. Mm-hmm. So respect that part of Beverly, that he's made his way for this career. But there's also moments where I get super annoyed with it. And on top of that, I did enjoy the TNT crew making fun of them.
Okay,
that's fine. That's fine.
Right, I liked all of it. How's that?
It's fine to be like watching Shaq, Kenny, and Charles Barkley make fun of these guys for celebrating. That's fun to enjoy too. That's okay to enjoy. I think if a fan base is of the mindset, like I'll give the example of the Dallas Cowboys. For years and years, they had the dynasty in the 90s, and then they would publicly say, with the Dallas Cowboys, we expect to win the Super Bowl every year. You can't go back on that. So people are allowed to enjoy your misery when you lose in the playoffs if you make statements like that. And if you win one playoff game, if you win 2 playoff games, I still don't think you should be allowed to celebrate as hard because you've publicly said things like, we just care about Super Bowls. It's Super Bowl or bust. If you make that declaration, you can never move back in time and go back on that.
Yeah, you're right. Because the guys that win like telling everybody else how they should act all the time, which is part of it, which is part of the winning reward of the whole deal. Your Minnesota rant, though, I can't tell you you're wrong. I can't. But I also think it's okay to make fun of losing your shit like that on a playing game and dancing on the scorer's table. But that had more to do with Pat Bev and the Clippers than maybe it was about a franchise getting too hyped about a game that doesn't even count as a playoff game.
I'm cool with them making fun of Pat Beverly. I was defending more Minnesota fans. Like, I think Minnesota fans have every right to lose their shit and go crazy. That crowd was electric. And
right. Like, imagine being in the crowd going, all right, this is cool, but let's temper it down 2 notches. You know
what it is,
that's not what people are there for. They're there to get away from everything else and have a release. And if that happens for a few hours, go ahead. Who's to say you shouldn't do it?
It's also, I should say, I've also been changed a little by, like, if you have a college team that you root really hard for, especially a team that's not going to contend for a title, you have to have perspective of, like, beating your rival, having a big win. Like, that's when people are like, oh, why do you watch college football? There's only 4 teams that can win it. It's like, I don't know, dude, because when my team wins 10 games and they go and, like, every 10 years can beat Ohio State, that's fun. I don't know what to say. Like, that's fun. I will celebrate that. So I think that's more my perspective.
Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah. All right, last question. This has been awesome. Roback question. Promo code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Q-Zips and hoodies at Roback, RHOBACK.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. All right, we're going to put you on the spot a little bit here. We're going to do a draft.
This is like, is it cake?
Yeah, is it cake? PFT.
That guy's a little too excited in the promo. I don't think it's that. Like, when they have those breakouts for TV shows they're promoting, and the guy's like, this show's insane.
Yeah.
You're like, it's just sort of a cake, or it isn't.
I've seen you in those shorts, Ryan. It's always cake.
It's cake. It's cake all the time. All right, so we're putting you on the spot.
A lot of hours into that cake.
Yeah, PFT and I have done some research for this, so you're going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball, but we're going to do a draft, okay? We're going to draft coaches. Top 5 coaches that you could consider the best coach in the NBA.
Oh, this is great.
Okay. So you get the premise.
Do I have the first pick?
It's top 5 guys that could be number 1.
Yes. No, I get the premise, and I also realize what you're doing.
Okay. All right. So you
Which
go.
I seriously think Simmons and I saying there's top 20, top 5 guys discussion. I think that was the whole point. People just love being like, how can you make 5 out of 20? And you're
I
like,
love that title so much.
It was unbelievable. How can people were like, they get so excited when they think you fucked up.
Right. I just loved it. I loved seeing that title.
And trust me, we fuck up. So there'll be another chance for you to go ahead. All right. I love this. So does this mean I get the first pick?
Yeah, go ahead. You get the first pick.
We're going snake draft. So you go first, I'll go second,
draft.
Big Cat third, then it's going to wrap back around.
Yes.
Oh, shit. So I got to value one here.
Wait, can you explain the premise again?
All right, so it's the top 5 guys. So each of us are going to have 5 guys that could be the number 1 guy.
Okay, got it.
5 rounds?
5 rounds.
Number 1 guys?
5 rounds.
Okay.
It's completely different than just picking what we think are the 5 best coaches.
No, it's if you could see
the
in
5
the
guys
future,
that could be the one guy.
Yeah, could be the guy that everyone's like, whoa, that's the guy.
Totally different. Got it. What about the past?
No, it's got to be current coaches. And
yeah, but
Stan
still.
Van Gundy. And Stan Van Gundy's eligible.
Stan Van Gundy's eligible? Okay. All right. Okay, so I got the first pick.
Yep.
Are we ready?
Put this on a graphic board. This would be great.
I'm also not afraid of projecting each of you guys, your minds. So. All right, I'm going to take Spoelstra.
He could
Good
be,
pick.
but I don't know. He at some point he is what he is, right?
Yeah. Okay.
He's the best coach in the NBA.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Well, no, you can't. The listeners are going to vote, so you just just poison the water.
He's good.
He could be a top guy. All right, PFT.
Okay.
Players don't seem to like him.
Yeah.
Okay. For my first pick. This is tough. I'm going to go Buds. I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'm going to go Buds.
All right. I'll go. Something old, something new. I'll go with Pop, and then wrapping back around, I'll take. He's not really new anymore, but I'll take Kerr.
I think it's interesting that you took Pop because that's specifically a guy that was the guy.
Well, he could be.
I don't think he's going to be.
Goes back, don't poison the water.
I don't think he's going to be the guy again.
Don't poison the water.
No, we're just discussing your.
But he
your
could
choice.
be the guy again. He could.
He's afraid of a little intelligent conversation regarding your choice.
But don't poison the water. Pop could definitely. If he wins another title, you don't think people would be like, "Oh shit, he's the guy again."
Yeah, if he does win another title,
right.
Yes.
So he could be. It's top 5 guys that could be the number 1 guy.
My next guy is Ime.
Okay.
First African-American head coach in the history of the Boston Celtics.
Also going to get
Which
whomped.
was about, hey, by the way, long overdue.
Yeah. Long overdue.
Who's going to get whomped in the first round.
He could get whomped in the first round.
Some are predicting he's going to get whomped in the first round.
But I'll say this. If the Celtics don't get whomped in the first round, it's because they have the guy coaching them. That's the difference.
All right.
All right.
I can't believe who's still on the board. I'll go Ty Lue, and we'll snake it back around with Nick Nurse.
Ooh, nice.
Good picks.
Nice.
Good picks.
Okay.
Can I take Bronny
They called
Jr.?
Ty Lue the Belichick of the NBA last night.
They did.
That was something.
Wow.
What'd you guys think of Glue Lady?
She was,
I'd like to see her use a stronger adhesive next time.
yeah. Maybe
What do you think
Ashley
they were
would
gonna
glue?
do?
She should have
Like-
glued her face to the ground. Like, what does gluing your hand to the ground do? Imagine how powerful that would have been if she had just like dumped it all over her face and then just stuck that forehead right at the top of the key.
And by the way, did she want people to be eating poison chickens?
Yeah. Or getting bird flu.
That's a low approval rating.
Yeah.
Like, no one came to her defense. I thought for sure somebody on Twitter would zag and be like, well, let's see exactly what her position is on something.
Yeah.
And then people would be like, oh, and then if it was something that was popular on Twitter, people would be like, oh, you know what? That was kind of lame that people made fun of her.
Yeah.
And then none of that happened. She was like, there's this new Mel Gibson movie when I was scrolling through Apple TV. It had a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, oh my God, a 0? I was like, that's like the lady's approval rating, the Glue Lady.
Yeah,
She's a 0. She was a 0 on Rotten
I'm
Tomatoes.
opposed to destroying chickens that are infected with bird flu.
Yeah.
That's a very specific. Like, I don't think that's a glue-worthy cause. That's
Yeah.
like maybe a Facebook post.
Yeah, right. She started a Facebook group. And she's like, we haven't had a ton of bites yet.
I know what I'll do. All right,
PFT,
so
your
my
pick.
next one. This one's easy for me, actually. I've heard rumblings in league circles that this guy could be connected to be the next Lakers head coach.
Oh.
In which case, that could mean that he would be the guy as early as next year. That's Quinn Snyder.
Ooh. Okay. I am shocked.
Who told you that?
I am shocked that I got this pick because is he not the coach of the year 2 years in a row now, and he's about to win a title if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt? Monty Williams. I mean, he will be the guy if they win the title.
Yeah, I think he's going to win Coach of the Year this year.
He won it last year, right? If I'm
No, I don't think he did.
I don't
he
think
did
he
not.
did
Who
either.
won last year?
No, Thibodeau won. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember, first of all, as soon as you get it, you're going to get fired in less than 20 months.
True.
It's a lock. And Coach of the Year in basketball, more often than not, it's who did something that we didn't expect to have happen. But I think because Monty had the team even better this year, that's what's going to happen.
Okay,
it was
so-
tough. It was a brutal vote this year for Coach of the Year.
Let me. You know what?
This draft, this is going to bump some numbers, huh? Fucking this podcast is going to kill it. It's going to start rivaling some of those political ones.
I'm gonna corner the market on the Steves. I actually think Steve Nash does a great job because holy fuck does he have to deal with a lot.
I think that's fair.
I mean, it's
I won't hear it. If somebody's like, oh, Steve Nash can't coach, be like, okay, we could talk about rotations
Right.
and we can talk about stuff like that, and that's fine. And like you watch your guy long enough, I don't care who you are, you're gonna find a problem with your coach. Good fucking luck having the disposition that this guy had the last 2 years dealing with all the bullshit that he dealt with. I don't want to fucking hear it.
It's
from
actually
anybody.
incredible. It's incredible when you like stack up everything he's had to deal with. Steve Nash. Okay, PFT, your fourth pick.
Can I take whoever the next coach of the Kings is going to be?
Sure.
Can I just pencil that one in? I think the Kings are about to do big things. They've really built something out there. No, I'm going to go with Nick Nurse.
Already taken.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Ryan took
shit.
him in the third round.
Good pick, Ryan.
Is there
Second
another
round.
Nick Nurse though? Maybe in college that if you were talking about a guy who doesn't have the job yet.
I'm going to go Nate McMillan.
Did you just project Nick Nurse to the Sacramento Kings?
I
on
might,
top
I
of
might
anything
have.
else?
Yeah, if we're reading the tea leaves. I'm going McMillan.
All right, Nate McMillan. A little bit of an underachieving year, but still, they went to the Western or Eastern Conference Final last year. That was something. All right,
I'll
Ryan,
take-
your last
I'll-
two.
I'll take Taylor Jenkins, Memphis.
Okay.
And I'm going to go James Borrego, Charlotte.
Okay.
That team has no front line. There are versions of that team before when they had nobody, or they had guys that were hurt, and they were competitive. They had numbers a couple years ago where like, this team isn't any good. I thought they had one of the worst rosters in the league. And they compete. He's not afraid to kind of sit guys at times. They're totally overmatched front line wise. And, I know that 43 and 39 doesn't blow everybody's mind, but they lost Hayward twice, I think 2 different times this season. So I think Borrego's a terrific coach. Comes from that pop tree as well. So
Okay, nice. Do you think Jim Boylan will get another job?
I hope so because he's got.
He's the
He's
best.
didn't they call they had what, a leadership council,
Yeah.
and then he used to call timeouts
and
late just to be like, okay, let's get a timeout.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the Mike Singletary story? Did I ever tell you that?
No, tell it to us quick.
There was a guy that I knew that was playing in a preseason game for Singletary when Singletary was the head coach of the Niners, and he's like, I've never ever seen it before at any level of football, but like something happened and it was like a big third down defensively, and Singletary called a timeout, and people were like, what? And he waved everybody over, and he was like, let's fucking go. He called like a basketball.
This is a pump up time.
Yes.
Right. He called a basketball timeout in an NFL. And I think it was an exhibition game. Just to be like, all right, let's lock in, boys.
I love
Did
it.
it work?
The story's way better if it doesn't work.
That's a pretty big
but
part of the story, Ryan, because maybe he's the genius. Maybe that's
if
how
it
we need to be
worked?
working it. Yeah.
Oh,
What if
man.
it
All
worked?
right, last pick, PFT, and then my last pick, and then we'll let you go, Ryan.
There's a lot of real shitheads out there right now. I'm going to go with.
No, there's tons of value.
yeah,
still,
there's
I
a lot
think.
of value.
I'm going to go Michael Malone, not Mike. Michael Malone.
Okay.
Did you guys have him on?
No.
No, we haven't. Should
You
we?
didn't have to sound so nasty about it.
Yeah. No, never.
all
All right.
Banned.
My last pick. I'll just ride the wave that we were just talking about. I'll go with Chris Finch and the Timberwolves.
That's a great pick.
feel like I got some value.
Their personality changed with him. People got really mad because he was brought in, because it was a very odd thing that you bring somebody from a different staff in midway through the season. It's not usually what happened, but what people did, what people left out of that conversation was that he is really he's held in high regard by a lot of smart basketball people. So when everybody was losing their minds about it, I did get some texts being like, I know you probably don't, but like, this guy's awesome. And think about where Minnesota is now.
Yeah.
That's
They're about to raise a banner.
strong pick.
Ryan, thank you. We're gonna call on you one more time during the NBA playoffs, probably before the maybe conference finals. Does that sound good, right? Actually, let's just base it off whenever Chris Paul gets hurt.
Well, I know you're hurting my feelings, so we can book this again soon.
Or if he just has like a really underwhelming game.
Yeah.
In the immediate
Immediately
aftermath,
after.
yeah.
Emergency podcast.
If he doesn't score a lot of points, it's usually because he doesn't want to.
Right.
So you know.
Right.
Okay.
Just telling you.
What about if he has turnovers?
No, look, that one OKC game, I still think one wasn't really his fault, but again, I'm biased if you haven't figured that out yet.
What if it's Chris Paul against Blake Griffin in the finals? That would be quite a story there.
One guy will be playing.
Yeah, Blake.
Blake,
your guy. Look,
because Chris Paul be hurt.
Ryan.
I don't want to make. Look, I don't want to sound anti-Blake because I like him. We all know how much we've got. I've got a couple mutual friends. It doesn't mean I get to hang out with them, but there was that one time. It was sort of fun.
Yeah. All right, Ryan. Thank you. Everyone, go check out the Ryen Russillo podcast. It is the best. We appreciate it, and we'll see you. Yeah, like I don't know, 10 days, 14 days, whenever the injury does happen. Hammy.
Maybe July after the. I'll report live from Scottsdale for the parade.
Oh, we will not have you on if the Suns win.
No, I think you guys should expense it, and I'll be a correspondent.
Why are you
perfect.
you're gonna go to a parade? Like Chris Paul's already had a great career. You think that you really need to celebrate just like one title that he wins?
One?
Maybe I just want to go to Scottsdale.
Yeah, good
One?
point.
Actually, in July, maybe not.
Say hi to Cliff for me.
All right. See ya.
Ryen Russillo is brought to you by Golf Time Supreme. It's golf season. The Masters just wrapped up. Time for you to get out on the links with your crew. Book your next tee time by downloading the exclusive Barstool Game Time app. It's available in the App Store. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to book a tee time at Augusta. I'm going to go down there with one club, and I'm going to shoot a hard 6 on 18 with my putter, all using the Barstool Golf Time app. Check it out right now. You can earn rewards points when booking a tee time and doing reviews. To write a review, all you have to do is you filter to your course. You click the Submit a Review button on the course home screen after you finish a round. You can download today, start earning rewards points towards exclusive Barstool merch. It is golf season. We're going to be hit the links, right? We decided that as a podcast.
Yes.
We're going to be me, Big Cat, Hank, Jake probably going to go out there and kick our asses.
Billy can caddy.
Maybe. We're going to go out on the golf course. We're going to get into golf. That's something that we've resolved to do. Spend some time outside, and we're going to use the Barstool Golf Time app for that. Download today. Start earning your rewards points towards exclusive Barstool merch.
All right, let's do Fyre Fest of the week. By the way, we have a great interview coming Monday with Jake Arrieta. Already taped it. Very excited for that. And also some different sports covered on Wednesday's interviews. We got 2 interviews coming. Mm-hmm. A little soccer and tennis. Never had a tennis guest before, but we just wrapped that up, and it was fucking awesome. So
Do you guys do talking tennis with the guests?
We did not.
Did not.
It
That would have been inappropriate.
Yes.
Yes.
I was thinking to myself, I don't want to get written up by Hank.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, he wasn't here
that's true.
because he was in the C-suite.
But he knows he's got people in every room.
True.
Hank, your Firefest.
Yeah. We talked about it at length on Tuesday. We talked about
Well, what happened for those of you out there that haven't listened to Wednesday's show yet? Hank, why don't you just run it back?
I just sent a picture to my family, and the internet roasted, my entire being, my face. They memed it, put it all over the place.
Chelsea,
a lot.
chilling with Chels, made a nice painting.
Yeah, it turned into memes, which turned into paintings, which turned into art, which is probably going to end up in the studio. Maybe not if it gets lost in the mail. Who knows what's going to happen with that?
I don't want that.
Oh, good.
I don't feel safe with that around.
Yeah, I mean, she's like selling it on eBay. It's crazy.
Good.
But memes, our fucking guy, and our
Hopefully the person
Instagram
burns it.
Obviously, in my new position, we're tracking data. We're looking at the numbers, always, trying to get a leg up. Mm-hmm. We look at our Instagram, and it's like, a normal post, if it's a picture, not a video, it's like, 8 to like 25 is probably like the low and high range of like a post. And memes posted a compilation of the memes of me roasting me, and it got like 45,000 likes.
Damn.
And it's just tough to see.
lot.
People love your face, Hank.
Yeah.
A beautiful, beautiful face.
It just hurt. It was hurtful.
Now, the woker amongst us would say that maybe this entire thing was planned to get this sort of social interaction.
But that would imply that I wanted this to happen to me.
Yeah, maybe you're just putting on a big act. Maybe you're super pumped that everybody out there knows that you work out really hard.
I would say that if that were the case, I probably would have taken a more attractive picture.
Well, let me ask you a question, Hank. As your new job as vice president of Barstool Sports, there will be a time where I'm sure they'll look over the numbers being like pre-Hank, post-Hank. Huh. Seems like
pre-Hank what?
Pre-Hank becoming vice president numbers, post-Hank becoming vice president numbers.
This was an easy win for you right off the bat.
Easy win, though. This was a pull out all the stops. Just something to think about. This is what it's like to be Billy all the time.
Is he actually the VP now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like,
well, he's
our boss.
He was VP, and then I think he just named himself chancellor.
And
it's
now
a rich
he's
tradition
P.
of people
yeah,
doing that.
P and chancellor.
I actually got to figure out if this is real after this.
Yeah.
He's VP.
I stand with Hank. Workout pics.
Yes.
I stand with Hank.
Does that have anything to do with the fact that he's VP now?
No, Billy actually did send me a selfie, and I was like, what the fuck is this? He's like, working out. And it kind of made sense where I was like, this doesn't even look like you're working out. It's just a selfie. And then it all clicked. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Damn.
But I appreciated that, Billy.
I don't think it was that bad.
It really wasn't. I think it was just bad that you sent it to the worst
It's
possible
just one of those things
combination.
where it's like you don't think it's that bad. It's going to be an average performing post, and then it's like no, this like people
popped.
laughing at you is like actually what people want to see the most.
Oh,
That's really what it is. It's like I wouldn't have cared. 8 to 25. It's like a high range. Pretty much everything we post is somewhere within that range, and it's like, oh, let's see how this did.
But you knew that. People love our misery. People love us looking terrible. Like, what are the pictures that pop at me when I look at my fattest? When I lose? Like, that's just...
The good news is
it.
that
people are perverts or sickos.
It's a great meme and a great picture for those of us that know the backstory behind the entire thing. But if you're on the outside looking in, I don't think that meme it doesn't cross over.
It would make you want to delete Instagram. Right. All right.
How soon until we get the first screenshot of somebody using that as their Tinder picture?
Ooh. Get on it, people.
Good luck. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, good luck with that.
What if they
Fishing with
pull-
dynamite, yeah.
All right, PFT, your Firefest.
My Firefest of the week is it's a little bit embarrassing for me. I haven't really been sleeping that well for the last few nights. I slept really well last night, actually, but
Nice.
night before that, and then the night before that, and then the night before that, got really bad sleep. In fact, on I think Tuesday night, I didn't even sleep at all, and I just got up in the morning. I was like, "It's 5:00. I'm just awake now. I'm sick of pretending to go to sleep." And the reason why I haven't been sleeping that well is I've somehow found myself addicted to playing a flight simulator on my computer.
Yeah.
I've gotten really into
Yes.
this one particular flight simulator,
Yes.
which is so
Now you're talking my
realistic
language.
and detailed,
Yes.
that I have to go through the fucking step-by-step tutorial and checklist to figure out how to ignite my engines, wait till they're ready,
Yes.
put my flaps in takeoff position, close the canopy, idle for a second, go down the runway, taxi, take off once I reach 250 kilometers per hour, communicate with my wingman effectively, and it's a lot,
Dude.
And I don't particularly understand why I'm addicted to it.
No.
I used to play a couple of flight sim games back when I was 10.
No. It's not a lot. It's
I
the
bought
right amount.
I bought a joystick.
Yes.
I've got a joystick and I've got a throttle.
Everything
that
you
I put
just
on my
said,
desk.
I have, and I do it on my phone too. I love flight simulators.
It's awesome.
They're incredible. It's something about and you don't even do cool things. You just fucking take planes off and land them.
Okay, so I am doing some cool stuff.
Oh, you are? I like
Yeah.
to just do the shuttle from New York to DC.
Yeah, those are cool too. I like those where it's you can essentially what the internet has become now with all the different simulator games that you can play is you just pretend to do somebody else's job for a couple hours. There's a tractor simulator, there's a train simulator, which that's actually awesome.
Our
too.
guy Zod does the actual full train simulator that's real time, not sped up.
Yeah.
He will actually do 4 hours New York to DC Amtrak.
Yeah, he's doing somebody else's job for it.
Uh-huh.
But I'm doing this flight sim right now. I'm in the middle of a campaign in Ukraine where I'm flying Su-25s and I'm providing ground support to my troops. I'm
Dude,
taking
it's
out
awesome.
SAM sites, AAA sites, the whole 9 yards. And it is it's the weirdest thing that I've ever found myself addicted to. But I've been up until 3:30 in the morning. I'm ignoring when you guys are texting me late at night after we got done recording part of my take. I'm not responding to them, not because I'm ignoring them, but because my eyes are glued to my computer.
Yes.
And I'm playing flight simulators
Dude,
for 5 hours at a time.
Do not be ashamed whatsoever. Flight simulators are cool. They just are cool.
I just
do
need
it
to
too.
dial it back a little bit so that I can sleep, because then after I'm done,
You will.
After I'm done playing, I try to fall asleep, and all I'm thinking about is my heads up display, and I'm like, that bandit really got my six when I entered into the vertical scissors fight with him.
Dude,
should have done a split S.
I think you're similar to me in that you get into it and you'll be addicted for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you'll probably find a way to wean yourself off. That's how I've always done. I'm not in it right now. I had one probably 2 months ago where I found the sickest game on my phone that was full flight simulator, and I played it nonstop.
It's awesome, and it's gotten to the point. I don't know if I'm even able to wean myself off it yet.
No, you have to go hard. You have to go harder.
Yes, yes. So I got the joystick, I got the throttle. I don't like how the throttle feels, so I upgraded. I just purchased a new throttle.
Yeah.
And then I spent about $500 getting an F-22 in my arsenal that I can then mod with all the different missiles and skins.
It's awesome.
It's become an issue for me.
No, lean into it, because that's what I'm saying. Whenever I get addicted to one of these video games, I just have to go full hard as hard as I can go for 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'll be wake up one day and just be all right, I'm good.
I'm done with that. It's like that movie Adaptation, where he's I got so seriously in love with fish for a while, then one day I was just I'm never setting foot in the ocean ever again. Fuck fish.
Yeah.
I need to reach a point where I'm fuck planes.
That's every video game I've ever had. I just go so crazy about it, and then I just stop.
I threw my joystick when I got shot down. I ejected like a little bitch instead of going down with the ship, and I threw my joystick because this bogey got me.
Yeah.
Billy,
What do you say, Bill?
So you're not doing a commercial flight simulator. You're doing a combat flight simulator.
Combat flight. Well, it's a mix of both, because in order to learn how to actually get airborne and fly any of these airplanes, that probably took a solid 12 hours of playing the game, where I'm just learning startup procedures and navigation modes and figuring out how to hit my waypoints and activate my RWR and all this shit. You understand, as a person in the military, you have to
You're not a jag.
you have to get your baseline before you can actually go missiles hot.
So you're bombing Russian convoys.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy's in.
Rockets. I've been using
Billy's
rockets,
in.
A-10s.
Billy's
A-10
wondering
tankers.
if he can be on the Russian side.
So you bought a joystick that was for a commercial flight simulator, but somehow you can release bombs with it.
No, I knew eventually I would want to fire weapons with my game.
Don't be ashamed.
So do you flip open the and have the red button?
That's the next level. I do have a red button on there, but it's a joystick with 6 buttons on it. It's pretty serious stuff. In
pretty
fact,
cool.
I looked into getting a joystick, a complete rig that also included like a chair. Like you can buy a cockpit chair.
I looked
and sit in that in front of your computer.
I got addicted to race car F1. I don't know, maybe it was early in the summer, last summer, and I got like a big rig, and I stopped at the chair. I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't get a chair that makes it look like. I just can't do that.
If you buy like a pilot's chair, like you
need a room.
At that
you need
point,
an extra room.
Yes, because at that point you have an airplane chair,
right,
in your living room.
Right, you need an extra
room,
room
and then
for
company comes over and you're
like,
just
what the fuck?
exposed.
Yes,
yeah, you realize what a weirdo you are. But
yes.
Maybe I need to find better times to do it because it's impacted my sleeping schedule to the point where some nights I'm just not sleeping at all.
I think you just got to keep going into it.
I'm just flying over
all the time.
over the Black Sea.
Yeah, as hard as you can. All right, my Fyre Fest, pre-Fyre Fest. I would love AWL's help. Who listen to the show, who have kids, potty training this weekend, so I'm fucked. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yep. Thanks. Anyone who wants to help me out, I'm just not going to leave my apartment all weekend. So,
are you going to teach your son to pee in the sink?
Eventually we'll get there for sure. But yeah, I've been reading about how to do it properly, and it sounds like I'm in for a hell of a weekend. So, these are little things you kind of take for granted before you have kids. You're like, oh yeah, what? Potty training? That's like you just tell them pee in the toilet. It doesn't work like that.
No, they don't get it. I was telling Big Cat about this the other day because he was starting to talk about potty training. But the one family that I've been around that has been in the course of potty training chose to do it the weirdest fucking way possible, which is you just take all your clothes off your kids.
Yeah, there's a
and
method.
then they just go around and they're free to piss and shit anywhere they want.
Yeah,
but they have to clean it up. That to me, that's most effective.
Fucked up.
That's the most effective form of birth control I've ever been around. Is seeing that. It's like,
well, that's
I don't want that in my house.
That's also a very effective way to get your kid to have like pretty big mental issues where it's like shaming them. I think the whole point, and I've read a book about it, no big deal. It wasn't a full book. It was like 20 pages. But I read about it, and it's like you got to be very nice about it, treats, all these things, because you don't, and it makes sense. Mm-hmm. I think that's how serial killers get born. It's like if you shame them about peeing their pants, they then will just be like, all right, I'm going to go kill some people.
The only experience I have is with Leroy. And he was very easy. Dogs are easy to potty train.
Yeah, I think that's a little
because
different.
you can shame a dog into pooping outside.
And also dogs, if you give them like any type of meat or treat, it's good.
I actually want to hear Billy's take. I'm sure that you have ideas about how to potty train a child.
Honestly, I feel like there's a huge parallel between raising kids and keeping upper primates as pets.
Yep.
I feel like there's a lot of the same strategies for a while till the brain development kicks in. Okay. I don't know, just a thought.
So how would you train an upper primate?
I don't know.
They don't have to go in toilets.
Right.
Have you thought about bananas, using bananas as
I feel like children are very analogous to monkeys.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but the monkeys don't have to go in toilets.
Right, but you could just sort of take care of them like you would a monkey.
Yeah, but the whole
I think once you have to potty train them, that's when they
like I could put a tree in my house and be like, hey, just climb up on this tree and shit on everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can crap in your hand and then throw it at me when you're mad.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that works. I mean, I'm going to be fine. It's just if people have tips, because I know there's a lot of people out there who do have kids, so I'm sure someone's like, hey, there's the tip. It's very similar to gambling advice. If you give me a tip, I will most likely take it. Like, you just say it to me, and I'm like, all right, that's how I'm going to do it. But yeah, this will be a fun weekend for your boy. Billy, I'm going to miss that party, by the way, on Saturday. Unless you want my son coming and just shitting on everything.
That's fine.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll be there.
Yeah, that's chill. So I was out in Indio, California, out at Dimitri Bivol's camp. He is Canelo Alvarez's next opponent. They're fighting on May 7th in Las Vegas. You can watch it on DAZN. It's going to be an amazing fight. I was really up close and personal with Dimitri Bivol throughout. Basically, I did 2 days of his day-to-day routine and training. It was really awesome, a great experience. There's going to be a video coming out soon. Check out some of the other videos some other Barstool personalities have been doing, such as Large, Roan, and Nick. They've been going with other fighters as well. But I actually was in the ring with him doing drills, working on what he was working on, just honestly, it was really awesome from that respect. But now my body is in shambles because I am not a professional fighter.
You're not allowed to do this. I told you you're banned.
I know, but I literally, but
you're 22.
I know, but not only am I sore, but I got the shit beat out of me in a couple drills.
Good.
And let me tell you, like, Bival's fighting at 175. He's fighting Canelo. And when I was training, like in my training camp, I was fighting guys who were like sparring guys who were like 270 pounds. And when they like really connected on a big right, like it hurt, but like they were 100 pounds heavier than Bivol, and every single one of Bival's punches, 100 pounds less, was exactly like those guys' big rights.
He's a good boxer.
He's a professional, like a world champion. Like, it was just crazy to just experience the difference up close because it was insane.
Did you ask him for tax advice about how to handle your winning paychecks?
We just started talking about work visas at one point, but he I don't know where his taxes.
The videos would be great, but again, you're not allowed to talk about being
Can
sore.
I talk about being sore from being punched?
No, because like
I'm going to give him a pass on this one.
but that was your job, and you did a good job.
It was insane. But anyway, went through all that. I'm sore as hell right now. I ate a burrito before one of the training sessions and got hit in the solar plexus, and it was almost.
Oh, that's fucked.
That was almost
that is
burrito
fucked. If you've never
everywhere.
been hitting that. That's the worst.
Did you do 3 F45 classes this week?
No,
Ooh, and
I
take
did not.
selfies.
question.
No,
Yeah, get in line, bro.
but like doing the runs, like honestly, if it wasn't for like actually having to be good at boxing, like a boxer's lifestyle is like awesome. All you do is like grill and eat and just work out.
Punched in the head.
Right.
That's like, but that's fun if you enjoy it. But like, it's just being out in Indio, California.
Right.
It's where Coachella is. It's like a really awesome place in the world.
Do you think at the end of the training he respected you as a man?
I think so. I hope. I think I don't know what his opinions are on American in general, but I think
Yeah, no, it would have been an immediate yes.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
look, but anyway, then to make matters worse, so I went through all that. Then my flight got delayed last night, and basically I ended up getting in at 7 a.m. and then getting out. Didn't sleep all night because of the flight. Then finally got home. And then I tried to fall asleep for a couple hours before I came in today. I fell asleep, but I immediately got freaking sleep paralysis.
Oh,
Dude,
that's
that was
the
scary
worst.
as fuck. There was this
I've had that.
weird
It
dark,
is so bad.
yeah, some weird dark figure was just like I was trying to like move and like punch and stuff, but this
Yep.
dark figure was just sitting on my chest.
Was it
And-
Whitey?
No, because it was, but it was anyway.
Was it
and-
Miley Cyrus?
No, I
Hank?
wish. No, but it just kept, and also it was like punching me too, but I was probably just sore. But it was the worst thing ever.
You
it was
have
so
PTSD.
Scary. It was
You
so
really
scary.
are a troop.
No, I think it had something to do with just like being extra tired and being car sick.
Yeah, no, sleep paralysis is
it
very
was
You might
the
have sleep
worst.
apnea too. That's a common side
I
effect
s-
of sleep apnea.
I
Really?
yeah, you're probably gonna have to start wearing a mask.
On Tuesday night we went till like 2, like I didn't fall asleep till like 2 a.m. and whenever I don't get like that amount of sleep, I sleepwalk like badly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
was doing that on
It was
Tuesday.
the worst. Probably my deviated septums give me
Yeah.
sleep apnea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm excited for those videos. Everyone check it out. We'll remind everyone when they do come out. Jake.
Yeah, I am in a little bit of a pickle on how to feel about the John Sterling situation.
Oh.
So on one hand, for those
I
who
mean,
didn't see,
yeah, go ahead, explain it. It was hilarious.
hilarious. Stanton hit a bomb, but not deep enough, and he called it
Stantonian.
Yeah.
Stantonian blast home run, but it was caught. Is what the call was. As high as far as gone, but caught. On one end, hilarious, like just a funny clip.
Yeah.
On the other end, Yankee fan, it's not exactly. Not that he needs a demo reel or a resume. Not exactly a clip you would put on a hypothetical resume.
Right.
Some people saying he needs to hang him up.
I'd say that might
So
be.
it's like it's a tough spot to be in.
That's like
Is
one
it-
of those
is it- is
stadiums.
it like-
Anytime there's a big pop fly and
Yeah.
you say it's high, it's far, it's gone, you're probably going to be right.
Well, it was left though. It was.
Ah.
It's yeah. It was bad. Jake.
And it wasn't the first time it's happened. It happened in
was
the playoffs.
bad. Yeah.
The playoffs, I think the camera angle.
Yeah. It was bad. What
What did you say?
Hank?
It was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad. There's no defending.
It might be
That's why
time.
it's a tough spot. That's why it's a
Hang 'em
fire
up.
fest. It's
Hang 'em
like
up.
His eyes are shot.
Are you saying Fyre Sterling?
never. Just saying. That's a mistake where if anyone
Take
else
him out back.
if
shoot
anyone
him in the
else
head.
made that mistake, they would probably actually like get talked to about it.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that you're bringing it up right, it sounds like he embarrassed the entire profession.
And the
No.
organization.
No, it's a mistake.
The Yankee way. Take his pinstripe.
Take away one pinstripe.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry, Jake. That's terrible.
it's a tough spot. He's a nice guy though. I met him once.
No way that you think he's a nice guy. But
As I
I'm
said.
waiting for the day where you're like, that guy's a real piece of shit. All right, numbers.
4.
Jake Arrieta Monday in
25.
all of the NBA playoffs.
I mean,
6.
it obviously. Never mind. I was going to ask something about who hit the shot. It was Stanton that hit
Stanton.
it. It
What's
just would be
Stanton's
great.
number?
27.
27.
It would be great if it was a deep drive to left.
Yeah, 27. My number of rings, and Stanton. Everyone got their numbers.
23 times 3.
69.
PFT, what's
Got
yours?
it. I was doing
25.
math. 74.
Three. The
Babe Ruth.
Bambino. Yes,
He hit a few bombs.
he did. None of them fucked up by John Sterling.
Love you guys.
You can train falcons to hunt down drones on your property.
It's pretty metal.
Yeah, guard falcons.
Talking away. I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shying away. Oh, I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on. I'm on tennis, but I'm least stolen away. Slowly learning that life is okay. Say up to me. Oh, it's no better to be safe than sorry. Say up to me. Oh, it's no better to be safe than sorry. Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. All things that you say, is in a life of just to play my worries away. You're all the things I've got to remember. You're shying away. I'll be coming for you anyway. You're shying away. I'll be coming for you